Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Happy July 1st. Welcome in. This is Crime Time Buzz. Thank you so much for being here. We are here for Sebastian Rogers this evening. Sebastian was reported missing February 26, 2024, 16 months ago in a week. It's been a long time, and we are here discussing Sebastian in a very important situation that occurred, and I will be bringing you the facts as they happened. And also, I might throw in a little speculation or opinion here and there. And I want you to know that's no one's being accused. This is alleged for entertainment purposes only. And let me tell you, it was terrifying, hopeful, exciting, scary, emotional, praying for Seth and Sebastian, hoping it wasn't a hoax, which it ended up being. And it was just a long journey that was scary. But if you see something, say something. If you know something, say something. So it has been quite a journey. And I have things to share with you from the time the individual reached out to me with the ransom request she had received from then on, and I will take it from there as you're all coming in. Mods, thank you so much for being here. Everyone else, welcome in. Hi, Raymond. Hi, Nicey Marie. Hi, Roxy. Hey, Frank. YouTuber, Cecilia, Gypsy Girl. Hi, Chris Miller. Hey, Zipper. Me and you. Hi, Sassy. Canadian True Crime. Hey, Wendy. Patty. If I don't say hello, hi, Wheezy Girl. Hi, Teresa. If I don't get to say hello to you personally, I do appreciate you choosing to be here with us this evening. Hello, Susan Kemp. Hi, Kiki. Hello, hello. Hi, Jen in Georgia. Hi, Prayer Warrior. All my mods, thank you for being here. And everyone here, thank you so much. I know we are all, hi, Doodle Mom 24. We are all Sebastian's army. We truly are. Our Sebastian's army. We have some new members in the house. Thank you, Margaret. Welcome to our family. Hi, Peggy Cock. Welcome to our family. And thank you so much. Enjoy the simple things in life for your 5 months of support. Hello back to you, my friend. So everyone, we are going to talk about Sebastian Rogers. We have had a long 16 months. Seth has had imagine, right? And so this was a big letdown, I'm sure, for Seth and for all of us. And we were hoping it was real. We were hoping beyond hope, because Sebastian, who went missing at 15, is now 16. Sebastian has a reward for $50,000 from the FBI, and Dog the Bounty Hunter, private donators, etc., and At Night Creative Intelligence Agency have put $450,000 together, making a $500,000 reward. So let's get right to it, okay? We are going to talk first about the individual who was so amazing because she did not ignore what came across. And you know what? It seems odd, right? First thing you think when someone sends a ransom demand is what? Oh, but you hope it's real. So you have to treat it like real, right? So one thing I do want to tell you is this is a story that ends up like a movie with secret questions and crypto accounts and ransom demands and moving him to a hotel, etc. Okay? But we have to remember, this is a real life, a real family, a real teenager with a real father and a real family and loved ones who this really hits hard with. So as much as I am so grateful I get to bring this forth to you finally, it's been a tough week for everyone, but nothing like for Seth and Sebastian, right? So please remember in the chat, my mods are on it tonight. They're a graceful group, but tonight we really have to have grace. It's a very sensitive topic. We're just not going to, I'm not going to put my mods in the position today to give any warnings. They're just going to time people out or ban them just because of the topic we have going tonight. So first, before we say anything is, Seth, we're with you. Sorry, it wasn't what we hoped it was. Second of all, this is Sebastian's life. Third of all, what I'm going to bring forward to you is very, very disappointing because there was certain agencies that would not respond. And it is a child's life, and it was a ransom for a child. I mean, they were even saying they were going to call and let us hear the voice. Let us hear the voice. I say us because it was to the person who sent it to me. Hear Sebastian's voice before the first amount was sent. So I'm going to get right to it to all of you. There is an update, which I read to you earlier from at night, and I'm going to kind of work through all of this, okay, for you. Just remember, most importantly, we didn't bring him home, but we're going to keep working, and we are Sebastian's army. Okay? So first thing I want to share with you is thank you for being here. Please hit the thumbs up on your way in. Many people will want to know that this has occurred. Okay. And I'm sorry I was a little late coming in. I am normally not late, but I wanted to get in there. The messages might be out of order. So sorry. So on June 22nd at 6:46 p.m., which was 9 days ago, I received an email. And it said, hey, I just got some Facebook messages from someone claiming they know where Sebastian is. I sent the tip to Dog, but I wanted someone else to see them. Please send wherever else you can because this is strange. This person messaged my daughter to get me because my Facebook is private. Screenshots attached. And I'm going to share the screenshots with you today. I'm not going to show his face, but it's not his face anyway, he said, but I'm not going to show it. But I am going to share you the actual real ransom request text messages. Okay. It starts with this email. And she sent that at 6:46 p.m. on June 22nd. And I thank her every moment. She's amazing. At June 22nd, 6:49, I responded, oh, wow, thank you. I will send it around. We never know. I will let you know if I hear back because we never know. Now, what I do want to tell you is that I did send it to obviously Seth and Tony and Dog and At Night and TBI and I believe FBI as well because I got a generated from FBI, I think, and TBI, I think I got an automated. Yes. Okay. An automated response. But immediately At Night was in contact and Dog's team. Immediately. And I don't know what I would have done without them because I was hesitant at first, and I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. Because we don't seem to get responses on some things, I was hesitant, I'll be honest, to send it to Sumner County, but the first thing Seth said was send it. I was hesitant, but indeed I did. I sent it to Brandon Carter, the lead detective, and Sheriff Eric Craddock of Sumner County. Needless to say, I heard back from At Night the very day we reached out to them, like within, I mean, I don't even think, I mean, moments, okay? And asking questions and jumping right on this. What I do want to tell you is I had not heard back from Sumner County, and I was nervous, but I just assumed, obviously, that they didn't respond to me, that they were responding to the others. I was wrong. I think it was, I don't want to give exact dates, but I know at least, I think a couple of days went by. Okay. Let me look real quick and just give you an actual date. Hold on. The actual date. Let's see here. Anyway, It was a day or two. It was at least two, I believe. And you'll hear more about that. There's a press release coming out and stuff. Okay. But at that point, they had not heard back either, which was really, really serious, because when we're talking about a child's life, it was really nerve-wracking. It was serious. And I'm going to cover questions at the end of this time, okay? So if you've got your super chats and super stickers and your new members, I thank you so much. But I'm going to keep going, and then I will talk to you all at the end, I promise you, okay? So there was nothing. And that's why I've been saying to you all week, if I didn't have At Night and Dogs team, I don't know what we would have done, because there was no responses. And they got finally, I think they're going to come out and explain to you, but they had to force a response. And 2 days in a child's life, and someone sending you a message that he is ALIVE, he knows where he is, he was the one who drove him away, and how do you ignore that? I was sick. Honest to goodness, I was sick. I do. Let me go ahead and pause for a second, Lisa, and I'll help you out. It is, my hands are even shaking right now thinking of it. I think I'm giving you the right one. I'm, right now, my hands are, okay. Mods, will one of you save this? This is the easy join. Thank you so much, mods. I have the best mods, and I want to thank you, mods, and everyone here. I want to thank you. So that was disheartening, because the person who gave me the source, by the way, who is coming on our channel to share the experience with me, okay? And I possibly might have someone else coming on who was integral in the situation. But we were nervous. We were scared. We were hopeful. It was happy tears. It was shaking. It was pacing. It wasn't sleeping. Thank you, Ann Lizbeth. Welcome in. We love you back. And we lived this. We were scared, and we kept saying, can you imagine what Seth is feeling right now? What's Seth going through right now? But we had nothing from local law enforcement until, praise God, at night, we'll just say At Night got a response out of them. And, that it was received. And that's when we knew the FBI, was involved at that point, but it took a couple days. So I don't know. I can't stress it enough. I don't know what we would have done, because it was a child's life, it was nerve-wracking. But anyway, they helped. We got there. They immediately, then she wrote to me at 7:05, please let me know if you get a response. I just cannot understand why someone would troll with a child's life at stake, but I've seen it all on the YouTube streets. I'd rather be safe than sorry. We have got to find Sebastian. It kills me every day thinking of him. My son is 16 with high-functioning autism, and he's so similar to Sebastian. This case hits me hard. I always watch your channel, but rarely chat. Thank you for continuing to advocate for Sebastian, and let me know if I can help in any way. By the way, the man who messaged me's profile was Canada, I think. Okay. Needless to say, one thing I do want to tell you is, did you read At Night's update today, so you know that they flew to another country? Okay, and I will read that all to you. So I am not kidding you. If you ever have someone missing in your family, you want At Night and Dog on your side. Hi, Kylie. Snail Candy, hello. Honest to goodness, you want them on your side, and I can't stress it enough, because it was stressful, it was scary, and they were stellar. I mean, they were flying places. They were releasing funds. They were immediately ready to release all of the funds. So very amazing to work with. Oh, wait, hold on. That one I did not get. Hold on, let me go back in real quick. I want to stop sharing. I didn't get his photo out of there, out of that one. Let me get his photo out of there. Oops. Okay. Now, some of these might be mixed up, but what I'm going to be reading to you is I'm going to be reading to you an entire scrolled version, and then I will go over these with you one by one. But I want to read to you the messages as they came in. Okay, and our person who received it put this together. And so I do want to play this because it is wonderful. I thought I had it pulled up for you. But I will read it to you, and then we will go over the messages. And I want to give you the first one because these are out of order, and I apologize. When we were all emailing each other, this was the first one, I believe. The person who did this, it was odd, contacted our member from our community via Facebook, and but didn't get a hold of her first because her Facebook is locked down, which is really strange. So the person reached out to her daughter first. Which was really odd. She didn't know how he even got in touch with the daughter. Okay, but I'm going to read to you the whole scrolling of it. And it says, send her this link is the start of the conversation of the person trying to get a hold of our family member here at Crime Time Buzz. Okay, and here I have it now. I'm going to read the whole thing as it starts for me. Starts out by her saying, then she's gotten in touch. He says, send her this link to message me. How do you know where Sebastian is? I was the driver man that carried him with boss Nike. Now, I don't know if he meant Mikey or Mike or meant Nike. Okay. I was the driver man that carried him with boss Nike. Okay. Driver man, what do you mean? Now, this is our member. They're amazing. You helped kidnap a child? Amen. You got to love Sebastian's Army. I love you all. Okay. And then, okay, so that's the first one. I want to show it to you. Now I'm going to read you the whole thing, and then we're going to go back through them, okay? Welcome into all the new members coming through. So then she says, hey, where is Sebastian? If you know where he is, please take a picture and call 911. Hello? And he says, yes. He's going on. What she said was he was going off, on and offline. Like he'd leave a message, go off, and then come back on to check and see if she had responded. Yes, dog is still working on the case. At night is working on the case. And like I said, this week, I don't know what would have occurred if they weren't. They're incredible. Absolutely. I mean, they're like letting everyone know they're ready to fund everything. And they're, like the update today said, they flew to another country looking for this person. I mean, they're amazing. So she says, if you know where he is, please take a picture and call 911. Hello? And he says, yes. And then it says you can now message and call each other, which is important because later on he says he's going to call her so she could hear Sebastian's voice. Where is he? Call 911 now. And he says, all caps, calm down. And I'll show you all these messages too, but those are out of order because I was trying to get ready real fast. Let me explain to you. Explain what? 3 question marks. Please call the police. And he says, please, who are you to him? And she says, it doesn't matter. He's been missing for 16 months. Where is he? Please call 911. And she says, who are you? And how do you know this? I hope you realize you will be facing charges if you knew anything about his disappearance. Boom. I love Sebastian's Army. You all are amazing. None of you back down. Well, he says, main thing here is to bring him back. And then he said, I know where they hide him. Hi, Woman's Warrior. Hi, Lolo, Carmelita. I know where they hide him. And she said, where? Why not report it? And then he says, my name is B. And the photo I use isn't mine. And I'm sure the name isn't either, but I'm just not going to say it. My name is B. And the photo I use isn't mine. So we know each other because everyone involved in human trafficking uses these photos of men. So he's saying, it's not my photo, but these are what we use so we can recognize each other online. I'll start again. So my name is Brian, and the photo I use isn't mine. It's so we can recognize each other because everyone involved in human trafficking uses these photos of men. So immediately you read that, and what do we think is, we have great hope because he's telling us he knows where he is. One thing about human trafficking is that we can't expose our work because we've all taken a blood oath. By reporting them to 911, I will die immediately. I mean, I'm shaking just reading this now, and we're a week in. I said I was the driver who transported him there. I spoke with these people. They told me I would have to give $30,000 before they would force me to transport him. And I'm not sure what that means there. I'm going to have to ask about that. They know about the reward and said they will take 40% of it. I could have asked them for proof to send to his family, but that won't be possible because of the blood oath. They said they would collect $30,000 before releasing him. And they told me And they told me I wasn't sure I would get the reward money because we were all involved in crime and human trafficking. So they told him he could get 60 and they'd take 40. And there's other screenshots to show that too. What I'm going to do is once I'm released, I'm going to take him to a hotel in Cancun, Mexico. And I'm going to pay for him for a week, buy him clothes and other things. And then you're going to come there and pick him up. Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine? And the thing of it is you always have to err on the side of what? The child's life. And that's what At Night and Summer Count and At Night and Dog's team did for us. I won't ever forget it in all of my life. Please help me contact his family. I'm serious. Stop looking for him in the United States. You will not find him there. I did my best to bring him back, and the financial reward will help me a lot because it is important. I will put him up in a hotel. Then I will send you the name of the hotel where I will check him in. Then they give their crypto account. We are in a legal business, so we receive all our money in Tether. And I crossed out the crypto account in the screenshots you're going to see. Okay. We are in a legal business, so we receive all our money in Tether. This is the account, and they sent me to pay the $30,000. If I get him out before I pay for him at the hotel, I'll get my $20,000. Before you send me the money, I will call so you can hear his voice. Yes, it ended up being a hoax. And we know that because At Night, as you read in their update earlier, actually flew someone out there. I tried to explain things to you clearly. I'm just a driver. I work hard to take care of my family and my younger sibling. Okay? So that is what was received. And there is also, I believe, some more, which we're going to go through. So all of the messages I got, if they're not in order right now, forgive me. So this is where he's trying to get a hold of our family member here. Hi, Lolly. our family member here. And he tells her daughter, please send her this link. I'm the driver. And her daughter let him have it. You mean you helped kidnap a child? I'm so proud of all of you. And then she says, sorry, I got things in the back there. I know. She messaged you, take a picture of him and call 911 immediately. And his response was, he is far from me. They took him to Mexico. I'm coming, please. Okay. So, whether it's a scam, you can't. And that's why this person who submitted this tip is amazing, because you can look at this and go, oh, what a scam. We all can, right? But we can't, because it's a child's life. And certainly, by goodness, law enforcement can't. And I will scream it from the rooftops until it's crystal clear. The person who received the tip and myself who submitted it would have been drowning underwater if it had not been for At Night and Dogs team. They guided us. They were comforting. They kept us up to date, everything. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So then she says, and he says, he's far from me. They took him to Mexico. I'm coming, please. And I'm not even going to share with you. If someone comes up, I'll let them share At Night's interactions with him, because At Night had a lot of interactions with him. Let's see. And this is where he says, remember, he said the reward will help me a lot. Okay. Let me put this one down a little bit. Sorry, guys. It's a little too large. Whoops. Let me escape it real quick and make this one a little smaller so I can make it a little smaller so I can bring this up here. Ooh. Okay. Remember, he said he was trying to bring him back. Okay. He was trying to bring him back. And this is the actual text, so you can see it now. Okay. He says, and the financial reward will help me a lot. Am I sharing it yet? Let me share it with you again. Okay. The financial reward will help me a lot. I've read this all to you. Now I'm showing it to you because it is important. I will put him up in a hotel. Then I will send you the name of the hotel where I will check him in. There's the Tether account. Then he says we are an illegal business, so we receive all our money in Tether. This is the account they sent me to pay the $30,000. If I get him out before I pay for him at the hotel, I'll get my $20,000. Before you send me the money, I'll call you so you can hear his voice. I tried to explain things to you clearly. I'm just a driver. I work hard to care for my family and my younger sibling. Now, needless to say, there that is for you. Okay, we got that one already. Okay, and then that was just something I'm not going to share with you, but that was an immediate response to that. At Night was ready to fund the reward money. Immediate response. And this is where she says, where is he? Call 911 now. And he says, calm down. Let me explain to you. Imagine, calm down. Yes, we're going to find Summer. We're going to find Summer. We are. We're still, we're all still looking and talking. And I told you we're going to have a live on her this week. I noticed her father's going a little bananas the last few days on their Facebook page. Something's got him triggered. He's saying it's CPS, but I don't know. He's if you haven't gone on, go look. And since the 28th, I think, or the 27th, he's been going very upset. Very, very upset. He's blaming CPS. So this is so you can see it. Where is he now? Call 911. Calm down. Let me explain to you. Explain what? Please call the police. Please, who are you to him? It doesn't matter. He's been missing for 16 months. Where is he? Now, she has no idea how he found her. Okay, please call 911. Who are you and how do you know this? I hope you realize you will be facing charges if you knew anything about his disappearance. Okay, and this we're going back over them. One thing I do want to tell you is I am going to share with you at night's update too, but I can't, the update that they just put out. Let me see 1 second. I may have something else. Hold on 1 second. I may have something I can share with you. One moment. Okay. So there is but you all at night interacted with him, their intelligence, however they do it, and that someone was on a plane, as you know. And you know what? Let me stop for a second and read at night's update to all of you so you know what we're talking about, because they addressed this today. And then I'll read the rest of these text messages too. And we're talking about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and I mean, it was like, send a secret question, which was sent. But of course, none of us knew any of the answers. The only person who would know that answer was Seth Rogers. And, move the first 30,000 in the crypto account, and, I'll move him to a hotel in Cabo. Well, at night they were flying places. They were on, ready to fund everything. So they're just amazing. And, but it was, when you look back at it, it's real life. It's a child's life, but it was like a movie. But his father lives this, and how cruel of someone to do this to him, right? But one of these days, one tip will be the tip. Okay, but let me read at nights to you for those who haven't heard it. And there is a big press release coming out on the whole thing, of the whole situation, what occurred, how it went down. Amazing. I can't, I knew they were informative. I knew at night, like, we had nothing really, in my opinion. And then at night came out and started asking the public for help. And we saw the footage at Texas Roadhouse, and we started seeing things and hearing things, right? And learning things. And they were sharing updates and getting Sebastian's name out there and everything like that. And just think about that. If we rewound to before they came, we would have zero. We wouldn't even know Texas Roadhouse, in our opinions, is suspicious. Now, it's in our opinions, right? But to have a tip ignored, you guys, I've never, ever never did I think that would happen to me. I really didn't. And I'm speechless. Let me just say that. I'm speechless, you all. Because I know I personally emailed Eric and Brandon, and I know they did. And it took 2 days and a force of hand for them to say they received it and got the FBI involved, right? And that's a child's life. What if that was the last, what if that 48 hours was the 48 hours that were the 48 hours? You know what I'm saying? With sensitivity. I have hope that Sebastian is alive. I do. I do. And this gave me hope. I think, I know it's a hoax, and I know he's a creeper, and believe me, he messed with the wrong people, intelligence agents, because they weren't messing around. Let me read this to you, their update on what occurred, and they have a press release coming out. But for those of you who missed this, because it came out while I was doing the Brian Koberger live, and then I just did a quick little video reading it. And this came out, I think 5 hours ago. 5 hours ago. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Please hit that thumbs up. At night issues critical. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I'm waiting for something that the something for you all. Okay. Hold on. If you're modding, check your messages. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, let's read this from At Night Creative Intelligence and At Night Intel. At Night issues critical update on Sebastian Rogers Reward Fund. We're addressing a serious issue. Multiple individuals have attempted to fraudulently claim the reward fund allocated for information about Sebastian Rogers by falsely claiming to hold him captive. Isn't that horrible? Hi, Shirley. Yes, a creeper hoax. But he messed with the wrong intelligence agency, in my opinion. They unbelievable. They're about to tell you right here. Our team at night has gone to great lengths. Thank you, Gypsy. Oh, thank you, sweetie. That wasn't necessary, but thank you so much. Our team at night has gone to great lengths to investigate these claims, including traveling from Hong Kong to at least 2 different countries. And that is unbelievable. So they traveled from Hong Kong to 2 different countries to try and, investigate this. Okay. Every case has been proven to be a scam. In one alarming instance, which is this one we're telling you about right now, we were prepared to wire. Yes, they were right away. I was shocked. Our jaw hit the floor because right away they were like, we're preparing to, we're letting the FBI and everyone know that we are ready to wire that money to fund it. And our mouths hit the floor because we're like, oh my gosh, this could be real, right? But even if it's not real, thank you, Sassy dear. Even if it's not real, they treat it as it is what they explained to me. They always treat it as it is. Bonus time with Jay. Yes, we'll do a question and answer afterwards, truly. So they treat it like it is. So they were ready to fund, putting people on planes, investigating it because it's a child's life. So we were prepared to wire the $100,000 to an individual only to discover their deception at the last moment. We remain steadfast in our mission to find Sebastian Rogers. I mean, they had even sent a secret question to him. He had pushed it that far. Okay. He had pushed it that far. And they're real. They're the real deal, let me tell you. We remain steadfast in our mission to find Sebastian Rogers. We urge the public to stay vigilant and report any legitimate information through official channels. Help us stop these scams and bring Sebastian home. Yes. Right. These scams and ransom notices are under investigation by the FBI Jackson, Nashville, Philadelphia, and Orlando field offices. $500,000 reward. The reward has been increased to $500,000, and the 50th of which is the FBI is contributing as well. So it's just, they are absolutely incredible. There is a press release coming out. There was another one also where they came out a little bit ago. Okay. Okay. No, there's a press release that they're going to put out, or a press release that they're going to put out too, because it was crazy. So Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, we need to bring him home. So here he is. Here it is where you can see it. My name is Brian, and the photo I use isn't mine. So we know each other because everyone involved in human trafficking uses these photos of men. They're military photos, by the way, that they use. One thing about human trafficking is that we can't expose our work because we have all taken a blood oath. By reporting them to 911, I would die immediately. I said I was the driver who transported him there, and I spoke with these people. They told me I would have to give $30,000 before they would force me to transport him. Now, that's an interesting statement. I need to ask for clarification on that. They do know about the reward because he was transporting him to a hotel, going to buy him a week's worth of clothes, give him money and food, call with his voice, and then he was taken off. And then they had to go get him from the hotel. They know about the reward and said they'd take 40% of it. Now, do you honestly think people like that would give him his 60% cut? I could have asked them for proof to send to his family, but that wouldn't have been possible because of the blood oath. They said they would give him $30,000 before release. They would collect $30,000 before releasing him. And they told me, and this is where he says, I probably wouldn't get my reward. Where he says, I probably wouldn't get the reward. Yeah. They told me I probably would not get the reward because I am a you-know-what trafficker. So, crazy, right? I mean, just unbelievable. And I cannot tell you how quickly, it was within 13, 14 hours, they were already ready to fund money after they had investigated a little. So just an absolute crazy experience. And I was so hopeful. I mean, I was crying happy tears, screaming hopeful screams, crying worried tears, pacing the floors. I'm sure Seth was doing a million times more than that. I thought so much, you all. I hoped, I thought perhaps because of the reward being high and things, people were posting, about Texas Roadhouse or whatever. Many of us had been posting. I really was hoping and hoping and hoping that we were going to, it was real, that someone had broke and was going to tell on something, and this also is a rescue, right? This would have been a rescue. Yes, Susanna. Susanna said, using digital tracking, the FBI should be able to trace the scammer. Oh, and I'm sure they will be. And let me tell you, FBI will find them, and let me tell you, I wouldn't want to be being tracked by At Night Dog or the FBI. They do not mess around. And I know 100 At Night and Dog do not. They, unbelievable. So absolutely unbelievable. So it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, but what we did learn from this is that Seth has aligned himself with a team that is powerful and strong. Powerful and strong. And they're quick, expeditious, and all over the world. Because they had people on planes looking for this guy. And I'm sure, I don't know for sure, but I would assume in Cabo as well. Okay? So I'm not privy to that, but I'm hoping someone will come on and talk to you about all that when we can, right? And there is a bigger press release coming out. It would have hit already, but it will. And that'll explain even more of what's going on. But what we took from it is we have to submit all the tips to everyone. But what we learned is At Night is truly, and Dog are truly searching for Sebastian. Seth has aligned himself, like I said, with a very powerful, strong team. They have reach all around the world. They're using that reach. And any parent or family who has a missing person, I mean, they were right there. Caitlin Harp, okay, right there involved. They've been putting out messages. They thanked the Pennsylvania State Police for their compassion to the family and never giving up, never stopping. Those things mean something. At Night's going to put out a press release. Yes, they're going to put out a press release. But now we know that they're on it. They're ready with that reward money. They were ready. And they were They were investigating, putting people on planes, communicating with the person. They made contact with the individual who was actually the person who did this, by the way. I think I left that out. At night, made contact with this person. Okay. That's how it got so far to where he asked for a secret question and they gave him one. They didn't know the answer. Only Seth did. Yes. So it was unbelievable. Yes, Candace. At Night came out day before yesterday and explained, in light of the alleged assassination, 100K hits that are put out on dog and other things going on, they've made a decision. He's still very active in the case behind the scenes, as I'm just telling you all right now, but won't be making public statements because when he does, the threats, the breaches, the 100K hits escalate. So he won't be making public statements, but he's with us. Okay, he is with us. So, yes, poor Seth. It was absolutely beyond cruel. Welcome, Ann Lizbeth. Before we move on, Shirley H., welcome in to the family. Our reunions are Saturdays at 1 Eastern time. Raymond, if you received a Crime Time Buzz membership from Raymond, please thank him. Thank you, Raymond. Always a pleasure, and thank you for always growing our reunions. Thank you, Holly, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Gypsy, thank you so much. Let's reach our goal. Goals, a Q&A afterwards if you all want one. Sassy says, thank you for all your hard work. Jay, thank you. My mods, you're amazing. Lisa B always says, bonus time with Jay. Yes, thank you, Lisa. Cute pup. Is that the new pup? Oh my goodness, is that the new puppy? And Minnie, did you name your cat? Brandy and Indy, thank you so much, dear. All your cute pets. Thank you, Jay, Sebastian's Army. Yes, we are Sebastian's Army, and we will not stop. This is a wild ride. I can't believe people do things like a hoax. I know, Holly. It's so sad when it's a child's life and a parent waiting. Thank you, Jay, for all with At Night. Yes, they were pivotal. Thank you, Jen. And thank you, Jen, for your Venmo earlier. That was very gracious of you. Thank you all so much. Let me see what questions you all have in here real quick. If you have any here that are in the chat. Well, I first want to give the thanks to At Night and Dog because it's well-deserved. So I'm going to go through and put that up there first. Thank you, At Night. Thank you, Dog, for all you do. My prayers for your safety. And I honestly, I won't ever forget how they had walked alongside of us through this, encouraging us, making us feel better, even, like, get some rest. That doesn't mean something's going to happen to Sebastian while you sleep. They were just amazing people. Okay. Amazing people. Thank you, At Night. Thank you, Dog, for all you do. My prayers for your safety. Yes. How did they find out this was really a hoax? Well, because At Night was in communication with them. And he said he was going to call with his voice. And I'm not going to go into all the nitty gritty. I hope someone from At Night will come up and tell you all. That's not my place to tell. They're an intelligence agency. I don't want to say how they work, what they do. But they were in contact with them, with the person. They made contact, and the person even went so far as to ask for a secret question and say that, he'd be calling with Sebastian's voice. And he got the secret question received, but then he didn't. And they are, I'm sure they figured out who he is. I haven't even asked yet. They were on a plane to find him. I wouldn't want to be on the other ends of those because that's fraud. That's beyond, right? Hi, Whispering Wind. So good to see you. Hi, Leprechauns are real. Hello, everyone coming in. Yes. They were, yes, they were absolutely, it's not a press conference, it'll be a press release, or like a a press release detailing the events. All I need, says Jay, at night costs 500,000 to 1 million to retain. I don't know anyone that could pay that. Maybe John Benet Ramsey's dad, but well, guess what? We know Seth can't pay that, and they're helping him. I'm not offering their free services by any means. I'm just saying that is compassion, right? That is compassion. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you put that in the chat, Leprechaun, because they're watching, so they'll take care of that, right? Um, always remember, y'all, put in my opinion in things. Okay. Yes, don't lose faith. Do not lose faith, because we do not know when the right tip, the right piece is going to come in. No, they didn't follow through. That's another thing. They were asked to show a picture of Sebastian with the date and answering the question. So, and they did not. But they were, I mean, a false ransom demand. Can you imagine now? That's jail. Oh, above and beyond. At night went absolutely above and beyond, and their frustration as well with not being able to get law enforcement to respond to them. They don't have to respond to me, right? I mean, if you want to be courteous, yes, but they don't owe every person who sends a tip a thank you. It's good professionalism to let someone know that you've received that tip, so they know, right? But they don't have to answer me. But I mean, come on. We've got a ransom demand, and at night's, moving money, and they couldn't get a hold of them. No one would respond. So now you answer this for me, because I've had it. I have absolutely had it. And I said, when this is said and done, first of all, now let me repeat myself. If you are a local and you are in here and you want to email me about the petition that you can use, please do. You are only required 15% of your voting population in Sumner County. They have to all be accurate signatures, and then it goes to your commission for 2/3 of a vote. That's where you're going to have a problem, in my opinion. And you know why. In my opinion, good old boys, right? Remember when we went over something, sorry, your comment caught my eyes. You all, I'm going on less, not as much sleep as I normally do. So thank you for your grace when I'm stumbling a little bit. Your comments are so amazing and stuff. But there was something I was going to say. Yes, I had heard from Seth via Tony through this. Seth said, make sure law enforcement has that immediately. And I'm sure he was pacing the floors like the rest of us. But he has put a team together that is amazing. And they are there for Sebastian. And I am not kidding you. They interacted with this man, and they are tough people. Okay? Tough people. You don't mess with kids with them. Okay? You just don't. So I don't know what to say. So if you are from Sumner County and you want to reach out now to crimetimebuzz@gmail.com and take advantage of the petition and what I know, and I can guide you, I'm happy to give it to you and help you start getting your signatures from locals. Just reach out to me, because this is an absolute travesty. And I can only imagine, as your county hears about this, that you would not be wanting to reelect him. So also please be looking this is my opinion. If I lived there, I did campaigns for a very short time as a little young pup in DC. I know how to do them. I know how to do all that. Lots of people around here do. I'm sure at night, lots of people do. But I do. If you've got someone that you think's honorable, honest, and will not put up with the crime that goes on, alleged crime that goes on, that whether it's there or not, it won't matter because you would have someone who would stand up to it tall and strong, I suggest you start asking them to put in their intent. The intent to run for sheriff is due in December of this year. They will be voting in August, I believe, with a primary in May. Now, the primary means the current sheriff is Republican. So he'll win the primary if no one runs a Republican candidate against him. Now, even if he wins. What my suggestion to you is never allow complacency. You've got a DA in there who's been in there 40 years. I mean, come on. And I'm not going to insult him, but I'm going to tell a truth. He was able to muster up enough stuff in his mind to bring forth charges to the bring forth enough to the grand jury over BHB. I want you to think about that. Was it once or twice? Over BHB, okay? And never has managed regarding 5 CPS alleged records, child abuse, neglect, misleading police. That's what they have done. I'm not saying they did anything to Sebastian right now. I'm saying just for that alone, let's get some people in here. Okay. And I'm very disappointed. But when you can bring forth to the grand jury over a YouTuber who the people have never met in person, and the grown man says he's afraid because she might carry a machete. I say that like he said it. Yes, I know it's machete. Okay. I know how to say it, but that's shocking to me. I fear it's complacency, but it's my opinion. You always form your own. Who's running the show in Sumner County? Remember what I said. And I'm not one to cuss. Bosses, bitches, and minions. Okay? And I was investigating, like I told you, and there's this thing when they talk about like corruption in towns, they do things like buy a badge and things, like they'll contribute to someone getting a position they want as long as things go the way they want. I'm not saying that happened in Sumner County. I'm saying it happens all over. Karen Reed trial was a huge eye-opener for the world. And I think it was a big eye-opener for the world when she was found not guilty, and they're probably not going to pursue it. Right? Because most likely it's one of their own. But they were screaming for years that they wanted justice. Oops. Oh. Hold on one second. He hung up. Sorry. Sorry, my friends. That was actually at night, but we're going to wait and just see what they send up. So anyway, we're doing, it was a hoax, and the person who sent it to me did the absolute 100 right thing, because we never know. And we sent it in, and then I sent it, she sent it in, I sent it in at night, circulated it as well, made sure it went through in Dog's team. And sadly, it is a hoax, but they did make contact with him. So believe me, I'm sure they will find him. I'm sure they will find him, right? So, and that's a crime. It's a crime. So he will be found. So let me look at your statements real quick. Agree that stuff was nuts. They met at court in person. Katie looked very cool and calm, in my opinion. Well, FBI comes for their own men. You know there isn't. There is an issue 100, 100, 100. In my opinion, in Homeland for sure is aware of all 100, 100. In my opinion, I will say but facts. You are cute. So it was, let me stop by saying again, you know, it was like a movie. It was exciting, scary, hopeful, got my hopes up, dropped my hopes down. I will have to be 100% honest with you. I cried when I found out it was a hoax because I thought we were going to be able to bring him home to Seth and tell you all we were bringing him home. So I was disappointed. But next time, right? We're not going to give up. We are Sebastian's army, and we're not going to give up. And we are going to keep flyers, remember, putting them up near the rest areas, the hotels and motels near airports. Because, oh, and that's another thing I did want to tell you. That was the reason that the high alert, all went crazy. That was one of the reasons, because he said he had him where? In Mexico. So then you all remember that alert that came out by at night, be vigilant on the borders. And many people really got upset with me for putting that video out there because they said, that's been the case for months and months. And I said, that's not this or whatever. I couldn't say anything else. But so now I hope you'll trust when you see something coming from at night that there's a reason it's coming. I mean, I think with every reward raise, you just had a reward raise, right? Right? And look what we just went through. So I think with every reward raise that they do, after what we all just went through together, and they're an amazing team, but with every reward raise, I think there's a reason. When they put out an alert to watch the borders or a state, there's a reason. Yeah, Rita, that's what that was about. And I read it to you all, but I didn't elaborate because I couldn't. But I was so proud of you all because you started saying things like, well, we're going to hang flyers. We'll get to our rest stops in our areas. And you're all amazing. And that's what it takes as an army and a team. And I know that this was tonight. I was also speaking of Devlin Tate tonight, who is 19 years old with cerebral palsy and other medical needs. And he is from Lake Odessa in Michigan. He is missing, as well as Jonathan Hong, high functioning autism, almost uncanny similarities in disappearance to Sebastian. He is still missing, so we will be talking about them tomorrow also. But I did want to tell you, Jonathan's family didn't get action from law enforcement. They kept saying, well, he's 19, so he just wanted to run away. And they kept explaining, he's high functioning autism. We need, you to help us. This isn't like him. Well, after that first week, and they said, well, there's not much we can do. He's got to come home. They went to their FBI, who told them to report the local law enforcement to the Attorney State General, which they did, and they had an attorney within a day through the Attorney State General. Then law enforcement said, okay, we will. They went over and told them that we're going to start meeting with you. Now, that hasn't happened, apparently, according to the family. Something, it hadn't when I last looked. And we'll start looking at footage your PI gives us, because they had to hire a PI. So we have, we got a situation here. But then again, we always have to remember that's there's always a few seeds, but we think about those who serve and protect our country. Let's remember that. Let's not let these instances that people will pay for, I'm sure, with careers at this point, in my opinion. But, let's just remember the good ones, because there's a lot of men and women who go out every day and serve and protect. And, you know, Washington Sheriff Morrison, we love him, don't we, ladies? He's amazing. Grady Judd's amazing. I mean, Joe Arpaio from here, tough on crime, amazing. Some people didn't like his ways, but he's tough on crime. People didn't drive drunk in Arizona when he was around. And let's see, we have a question here. 1 second. I'm just going to pause and just send one text real quick and make sure. Hold on. Okay, my friends, that was at night. They have sent something to me that they are. Oh, no. Okay. 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 No, I can't read it live yet. Okay. Sorry. Oops. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to take some questions now. Okay. I'm going to take some questions here. I see a lot of great questions here. How do I word this? Hold on. Maj, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. How do I word this? If parents aren't found guilty and crimes unsolved, I worry about copycats. I do too. Because how many times have we heard parents say, for instance, well, so, no one said that about so-and-so when they said that or they did that. That's copycatting, right? We have a couple cases right now that are, we have 2 cases, Sebastian and Summer, that are very similar. And I can tell you right now, what's so similar is lots of things. Mom was the one supervising the child. Stepdad, in Sebastian's case, he lived with stepdad and mom. Stepdad was at work, and in Summer's case, dad was at work. In both cases, the parent who wasn't there, the stepfather and the father, are the ones who called it in. Okay. Following that, both mothers don't go in front of media usually. Okay. Unless they're for KP, it's if there's an anniversary. I mean, it took her 12 months to tell everyone you wouldn't recognize Sebastian. She made a mistake in misrepresenting him in the beginning. You wouldn't take him for a special needs person if you saw him. That took 12 months to bring that out, and the moles on his neck. 12 months. He's smart. He's capable. We didn't realize that. Okay. Well, they also didn't give, okay, let me not get ahead of myself here. Candace, same thing. Okay. Candace didn't even go outside to speak to law enforcement when they came that night, even though she was the one with Summer. She stayed in the house on Facebook and social media, allegedly was posting. I probably have some of those posts saved somewhere. Okay. Both kids, Summer and Sebastian, had a fun day before they disappeared. Both Sebastian and Summer had pictures taken of them that very day. Summer riding home in her brand new outfit for kindergarten, asleep on milk jugs. Candace said she wanted to take that picture to show Don how cute she was when she slept. Could be. KP was taking pictures at the Texas Roadhouse. Ironically, neither of those mothers submitted those hours later when they reported their child missing. Summer's parents gave a photo 6 months prior with a blonde bob almost to the shoulders, big cheeks, filled out face, rosy cheeks. And when Summer went missing, she had a head shaved, She was very thin, dark circles under her eyes. I have a photo of her, I think, with her little friend the night before. She went, yeah, night or two before. Didn't look anything like that photo. If Summer had walked by me and I was searching for Summer, I would not have ever picked Summer out for the little girl that was posted on the Amber Alert. Now, Sebastian's isn't as drastic, but it wasn't the most recent picture. Okay. Neither mother have searched. Candace Bly, I'll never forget it. And if you ever remember where she said it, on which panel, I think it might have been her show, her channel. She said she does search for Summer. When she's driving down the highway, she looks out the window towards the woods. Wow, in my opinion. Very similar. Environment, 100% different. Environment, 100% different. Summer's raised in, well, I'm going to take that back. Cleanliness of environment, 100% different. The property, 100% different. The home, 100% different. But what I won't say is 100% different is the environment. Because Sebastian has that in his family essaying. Okay, that's in the family. A level 3 tier grandmother, RSO, lifetime. And it was a step grandpa also. And then Summer's dad, admittedly, and it was, even Jen Coffindaffer said it on her show, and she wouldn't have said this if it hadn't have been verified, that Don Wells's wife had said he had tried years before this, had been trying, she caught him trying to SELL her 2 boys on the street for money. Okay. So that environment, it's in Sebastian's world, not accusing anyone, not saying it entered Stafford home. I'm not. I'm just talking similarities to these cases. Okay. And it was in Summer's world too. Also, Summer was with her mother. Sebastian was with the mother. Let me think what else. Immediately, right away, Summer's father said she had been abducted and he would see her in the resurrection. Okay. No, that was so right away, like days in, week in, they spoke in past tense. And it took about a week or so to get out and do an interview. Same with Sebastian's mom and stepdad. They didn't want their name out there, which I find odd. Why are you thinking of yourself when your kid's missing? Who cares what name's out there? They didn't want their name out there, their house recorded. And that's very secretive now that I think of it, isn't it? Very secretive. Your child's missing and why wouldn't you want your house recorded? Same, Candace Bly has said they can't search her property. You can't come on my property to search. And they've said that on the Proudfoot, P-Foot's property. Babyfoot and KP have said that. Mama Socks, I don't even know if her property's been searched. But also Tennessee, they have that in similar. Yes, Carmelita, Jack and Lily's mom. And I'm working on a collab with someone. And this is why it slowed me down a little bit for the person who's in here working on a collab with me. So when you said you were slowed down, that's why I was okay. I was working on this. But they're both from Tennessee, both from small towns in Tennessee. Both have Amber Alerts, Summer and Sebastian. And I have something that shows that in the beginning, TBI thought Sebastian or Summer had been TRAFF'd, and they took it down. I reported on it, and probably a few other people did too, and they took it down, but I still have it. So you don't know. We have to have hope. But they're from Tennessee, small town. alleged relationships with the sheriff there, and I think Don Wells said they were related by marriage, maybe like cousins, second or third cousins by marriage, he and the sheriff, but relations as well, small town, and rumors of that going on in Sumner County. And I've always said that we can't verify it, but I will tell you this, that what happened in this past week, if I had been the parent, I truly would be traumatized with what Sumner County had put me through, because I was traumatized by what was going on, waiting for them to get into the game, right? And you don't wait to get into the game. So, but the guy was a hoax. Believe me, at night we'll track him down, and the FBI, they will track him down. I have zero doubt that they will track him down. And we are going to continue to be vigilant. Thank you so much, Holly. Thank you very much. We are going to continue to be vigilant, and we are going to continue to work to bring Sebastian home. We're not going to let this deflate us to where we have no hope. We are Sebastian's army. We're going to hang those flyers. So many of you are looking into things that are amazing. Your genealogy is amazing. Your ability to search everyone and everywhere is amazing. So keep it up. So keep it up for sure. Yes, our Oregon friend is coming back on. Absolutely. And I will tell you, she goes to lots of things in Oregon that have crowds in order to be able to search for Sebastian. So she's a blessing. Oh, someone's just asking this right now. Crime Time was the question something only Seth would know. Yes. It was a question only Seth would know. Well, I know that law enforcement knew. So whether law enforcement informed CP and KP of what was going on, I have no idea. I don't have their emails. I'm not on their personal list, but law enforcement certainly, I would assume, had contacted them and told them what was happening. But Seth is the one who wrote the question, because his team was the one indeed in there interacting with the person while we were waiting to hear from Sumner County. So, excuse me, but I don't know if they were notified. You'd have to ask Sumner County that. Did they contact? Hi, Caroline. Did they contact them? I have no idea. Yes. The caller asked for, or the person asked for a question that only Sebastian would know the answer to. So Seth generated a question, and she's coming back on once she gets back. She's just going to be gone a few days, our friend from Oregon, and then she's coming back on. Seth generated a question that none of us, no one else, not At Night, not Dog, not law enforcement, knew the answer to. Only Seth and Sebastian. Joanne says, Tennessee's like a black hole. It seems like too many corrupt officials there. It's sad. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Caroline. Hello, everyone. Do you have any other questions that you want to ask? Let's see. Were CP and KP in on the details? Well, remember, when Dog and At Night reached out to them when they were first joining in, do you recall that they reached out to them because they wanted to work with both sets of parents, and they did not want to work with them and asked them not to? Remember, they said, don't contact us again, talk to law enforcement. So they have law enforcement was informed, and I hope they did indeed tell them. I hope they did let them know what was happening, right? Let's see your other questions. Oh, you love I love our Oregon friend too. It's good to see you too, Caroline. Been a bit. Donna says, in my opinion, Katie and Chris would sit back and laugh because in my opinion, they know where he is. Hi, Bobby. Yeah, where you been, Caroline? It's good to see you. Yeah, she says, I'm starting to believe they were TR'd too now because these cases are way too similar. They all had campers too, very suspicious. Oh, that's another one. Yes, thank you. Grandis, Summer's grandma, who was one of the last to see her and be with her, took her camper and went out of town. And I don't even know if the fully 100, we've never heard if that camper was thoroughly investigated, to be truthfully honest with you. And that's very similar. The grandparents in Sebastian's case took an RV and boogied out of town. Very similar. You're right. Lots of similarities. Churches. Summer had a really odd church, in my opinion, odd, I'm sorry, because they did, remember, missing children drills, and her Sunday school teacher said, and Summer love, she's the best hider. Remember that? That was terrifying to me. So that was odd. And the church that's been mentioned that the grandparents go to, we've seen some in my opinion, odd things. A YouTuber who's a pastor there who doesn't even report on Sebastian, and he's from right there. That's, in my opinion, strange. Okay. When are we going to hear from at night? They are going soon. They put out an update today on what had been happening, which is why I was able to come forth with you all. And they are working on letting you all know details are coming soon. Yes, the churches are very suspicious and very strange. And do you remember when one of our dear friends went to, I believe, now tell me if I'm wrong, Portland or Westmoreland, and saw the Freedom Church sign in the driveway? That was wild. And she had that feeling and was driving back there. That was a great video. That, I hope that whole area had been checked out, right? But, well, I don't even know what to say about that. Hi, NeuroV. Portland, thank you so much, Portland. We've missed you, Caroline. Hi, Woman's Warrior. Portland, that's right. That was that video. Donna B says, I've always thought the RV in Alaska could possibly be involved. Well, I do remember CP, did he not at one time reference Don Wells? He said something, and then he goes, well, no one gets upset when Don Wells said it. I found that was a huge red flag to me, that maybe he was watching what they were doing. And I don't know. It was just weird to me, in my opinion. Okay. But now with Summer, we've had a couple, we had a couple sightings with Summer here and there, but nothing that got anyone in a vehicle driving to it. Let's put it that way. We also have had very few updates on Summer. She's also an Amber Alert child. I think the lead detective has done one interview. His name's John Pruitt. He's the lead detective in Summer Wells' case. And then Leslie Ainsworth is the public information officer, Earnhardt, excuse me. Leslie Earnhardt is the public information officer for Summer's case. And we've gotten very little of anything from Souther. And someone asked me, where does Faith live? And it is in New Mexico. No, not Mexico as in New Mexico. No. Mexico as in Mexico. Are you talking about where the Ransom indicated he was? Mexico, not New Mexico. I know a lot in Oregon would be on the way to Alaska. Yeah, if they, yes. Where is Sebastian? Yes, I'm going. Candace has been in contact with the Foots to give them advice, allegedly, Karen Powers says. Interesting, Karen. Where did you hear that? Can you kind of let me know where you heard that? I'm going through all your stuff to see what you have as far as information. We as citizens have been so comfortable that it's important to vote out the long-termers. This tragedy can happen in our own family. Absolutely. Absolutely. How would you feel if someone called in a ransom and said a demand and said your child, they had your child, but you couldn't get the lead agency, the law enforcement, to respond to you? the ones who refuse to call the U.S. Marshals, the ones who refuse to give the case to the FBI, but yet they won't answer a ransom demand tip. Now, that is, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. They won't call in the U.S. Marshals. He said he's not doing any more press conferences. He doesn't care what the constituents or the public think. He's not calling the marshals. He's not going to call in the FBI. No more press conferences. But yet, and one detective a day, that is his job to cover Sebastian's case. So that one detective, from me alone, received 9 things, because I had other stuff that remember that I was sending. But that's his one job. And he had to have his hand forced to get in the game when a child's life is at stake. And I think about 2 days went by, at least. So I want to know where I go, because I know that Tennessee has it that, certain ways to, report a sheriff. But if you're a local, you need to get on that, please, because what if it's your kid? The sheriff has assigned one detective. The detective has chosen not to answer any of the tips that are demanding ransom for a child that they are going to put in a hotel in Mexico and call with his voice. And then not only bad enough that the sheriff isn't responding, or the lead detective, that's his only case, the sheriff never gets on the ball for something as serious as that and responds. I don't even know what to say. I mean, what do they do temporarily? How do they handle this? What is Sumner County going to do while Sebastian's missing? Can they put both of them aside off the case and bring in people who, even from the same, I don't know, but they're not answering. They didn't go to Bristol. They didn't call Bristol. They hadn't made contact by the time Seth Rogers drove all the way there. And there's family members in Bristol, a family member. I mean, come on. And on top of it, the Oregon sighting. That person was never contacted till Seth's team contacted her months later. Hendersonville got it in their criminal investigation, and Hendersonville PD in Sumner County never contacted her. So, I mean, there's absolute proof that they're not responding and following up on all leads. They say, we continue to follow up on all leads. No stone unturned. No, stones are going unturned. And the last week has been darn proof of it. Craddock saying snuggle struggle, yes, is just whacked. He makes it sound like playtime for kids. Yes. And when you minimize R, that's minimizing crime. When you minimize crime, it lets people get quite bold. So imagine living in a county where someone thinks that you might think, maybe allegedly, you could do a few things like R, and he wouldn't be so tough on you because he might think you were having a little snuggle struggle, right? It's not right. And in my opinion, I don't even understand someone who would wear a badge who would make a statement like that publicly, in my opinion. Because what he does is he isolates the victims of R from coming to him, because who wants to come to someone who thinks of it that way, that it's too strong of a word? From you, SI officer, she said, yes, it took a demanded email with insults to get a response 13 plus months later. Yes, I had to send an email too and say, you know what? I've sent you 9 things in 3 days. And isn't this your only case? I would like some communication, please. And I told you all that. I sent Seth the Office of Professional Responsibility for Sumner County the phone number, all the information. I sent it to Tony, was giving it to Seth, to where he could report the sheriff for the things he's putting him through and not doing. Yes. And they will investigate. I did give it to him. Ask Seth to complain to attorney or WH about what just happened and demand FBI input. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No comment. I agree with you, though. Yes. Yes. I think if you want my honest opinion, I don't think, Nicey Marie, thank you for your 2 months of support. In my opinion, a reason Sumner don't want outside help, I think, in my opinion, is perhaps the documentations weren't done properly. If you have a flyer that's wrong for 15 months, imagine the paperwork, in my opinion. And then, thank you, Mama, 4 months of support. Thank you, Jay. You're welcome. Christina South, a new member, welcome in. Welcome in. Does anyone have any other questions, my friends? Oh, you skipped my question again, Crime Time. Sorry, Shirley, I'm coming back to it. I am coming back. Okay. Crime Time. Do you know if anyone has checked hotels in that city in Mexico, and did they have Sebastian's picture with them if they did? I would bet you that some of the individuals with boots on the ground after this were in that area where he spoke of. Am I 100? No, but at night had people flying everywhere. Okay. So, and I'm sure, yes, they had his picture. He's the FBI most wanted. They have all of that stuff. They have flyers, everything. So yes, pictures on phones, everything. So people were in motion. I can't believe he wasn't fired for that. Who and Lizbeth? No one knows. I'm sure. No one knows. He's not going to go tell anyone that he didn't answer a ransom demand for a child who'd been missing for 16 months. And where do we complain about him? Where do we go? That's the problem, right? There lies the problem. And he doesn't want to call in the marshals, but yet they don't answer the tips. They don't want FBI to take over, but they don't answer all the tips. They don't follow up on all the tips. Not a word, crickets. How in the world, and I guess I just need an answer to this. Some of you have husbands who are law enforcement, and I know a couple of you are law enforcement in here. How would you, as a sheriff, say, if a superior approached you, why didn't you respond to a ransom request, a ransom demand for this child who is in our jurisdiction, when you won't call in the marshals and you won't call in FBI, but you won't respond? How would a sheriff answer to that? Because I know some of you do have people in your... Yes, we are working on something right now. All of us are. Yes. I think we all have our different irons in the fire that are going to come together. Oh, yeah. There's copies of email receipts. Yes. 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 So I just, yes, we can all write to Donald Trump. Of course we can. I think At Night's got to connect. Well, we can ask At Night to do that. I'm sure they already have, knowing them. They reach far and high, guys. They didn't mess around. So they real. I mean, I'm serious. Mini Pantsers says, in my opinion, Eric Craddock went look because he knows where and what happened. In my opinion, I'm just devastated about the whole thing, Wheezy Girl. Because we don't know now, in all of 16 months, what has been ignored. That's what upsets me. What if something came in those first 3 months, 2 months, 8 days that weren't looked at? I mean, now we have no confidence. There's no confidence now. I have zero confidence. And I hate to say that, but zero, absolute zero. But they made us not have confidence by doing this. This was the last straw for me. So I'm just very, very hurt. I'm very everything. Super sticker. Thank you, Tracy Delonte. That is so sweet. Oh, look at you standing under that tree. That tree is beautiful, Tracy. Thank you so much for your super sticker. So yes, I'm really devastated by it. I am. And I don't know what else to say, but I've never in my life, I would have ever, even as the way they have behaved, like that one interview where we saw he's just like, nothing, nope, nope. And he wouldn't elaborate. That was crappy. But that's just personality, in my opinion, maybe a little arrogance mixed with it. We all saw fear in the eyes, you said. You all saw fear in the eyes. And that worried me. But now this is just, there's no excuse. So I will tell you, I will not stop screaming about what they put us through, me through, us through this last week, Seth through, Sebastian through. If Sebastian had been waiting to get picked up with Ransom, they had their feet on the desk watching the messages come through and not responding till they were forced to. And I want an answer for that. I want Craddock to speak up and explain why he chose to devalue Sebastian's life like that. He's there to serve and protect. He should not have a badge, in my opinion, after this week. And Brandon Carter, it's his only case. His only case. And he couldn't even let At Night know that he got the FBI investigating. 2 days it took him to get that started. 2 days to respond. So that is not going away. That is your money. That's taxpayers' money. That's a paycheck not being earned. You could put a homeless person there who would answer quicker, in my opinion, and appreciate the job. That's what I'm going to say. And anyone who would do that, do they put sheriffs? I mean, I agree with you. I see what you're saying, but he needs to go to jail also, in your opinion. I mean, I don't even know what to do. I mean, I'm speechless. We won't be passing this on. This will not be forgotten. This will be brought forth. This will be brought forth. And yes, I will send a letter to the governor. Certainly will. But I'm pretty sure At Night, they've like I said, they've got a tall, far, high reach. But yes, I'm just sick. I wanted to vomit, knowing someone wasn't paying attention. So now I've been up at night worrying. How many tips came through in the beginning that they said we have nothing? How much footage didn't they get that they should have gotten? Jonathan Hong's parents, they're going after law enforcement because they have 30 days after an investigation begins, apparently, to gather the surrounding or whatever pertinent CCTV and stuff like that. So they have, I think the National Autism Society is helping them with it because they know certain footage was not picked up. Was all the footage picked up here? Orsham's wasn't. Was BP? Were the license plates readers all checked? Right? Do you have confidence now? I don't. I didn't want to even give them the tip, to be honest with you, because they don't answer and I was worried. I'll be honest, my confidence was gone, but Seth said, give it to him right away, and Seth's the boss. Right? I said, no, I don't want to, but I did it. But I have zero confidence now. I mean, when this is huge, a ransom demand. He's saying for 16 months, we've got nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. Nothing. No foul play. No. Mm-mm. and you get a ransom demand, boy, he could have really changed the way his community and the nation and the world looked at him by actually doing something about it. Because right now, if you go on social media, you know what everyone thinks of him. Okay? It's all over X. It's all over Facebook. He did it to himself. No one did it to him. It's the way he speaks, the way he doesn't speak, the snuggle struggle comment. And people like right here in the chat, people saying it took 13 months to get him to respond to them. So it's a travesty. And I guess they just thought that they didn't have to respond, that Sebastian's life, needed to wait even longer. So I'm just, I really, I can't, I'm speechless and I don't even know what to say. I could probably get flyers put up in Mexico. I am sure now, I will verify, but I bet you there are flyers all over Mexico now. Like borders are being watched as well, everything, because you just don't know, right? Maybe the guy just got, well, no, they deemed him to be, no, I'm not going to say that. They deemed him to be a hoax. But that doesn't mean he gets away with it, my friends, because he had people in motion. I mean, people were on airplanes, not Sumner County. I'm talking about at night. No. They were on airplanes, sending people on airplanes to check things out, right? So, oh, new X post. Okay, I'm coming. Sorry, I was just getting a Diet Coke. My mouth was parched. 1 second. Thank you for letting me know, and we will read it. Let me mute for a second while I open. And I just want to know how you all are feeling too, because I know you all are Sebastian's army. And I know. Thank you, NJs. Okay, this is what I get to read to you. I had to wait till this came out. Okay, hold on. This is what I almost read to you before I should have. Hold on. Let me get to it. Okay, here you go. At night, this is from At Night Intelligence, and it was 16 minutes ago. Sorry, you guys. My hands are shaking. I know what this is. I'm just waiting. I hope it's good news. Well, okay. They're calling on the FBI. Read this. 16 minutes ago, At Night Creative Intelligence. At Night calls on the FBI to lead the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. To date, critical investigative leads that remain unacknowledged. Significant misinformation. Excuse me, let me start again. I'm sorry. At Night calls on FBI to lead the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. To date, woohoo! They're asking. To date, critical investigative leads that remain unacknowledged. So they still have never, oh, wow. Significant misinformation threats warrant the necessity for immediate and complete federal intervention. Is that all they put? Hold on 1 second. Hold on, guys. I just need to verify something. 1 second. I have it. I just need to know, can I read it? Am I allowed to read it? Got it. Okay. Perfect. Oh, okay, y'all. So that's great news. They are calling on. Thank you, you all. You're so patient. That's just me. I just needed to. Don't want to do things wrong. I want to make sure I respect, what they're doing. So, because it's a child's life, and we all care about that, right? So let me read you the new update from One World, and it's a zingery. It's a zinger. Buckle up. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, statement by At Night Creative Intelligence and One World. At Night Creative Intelligence and One World Society renew urgent call for federal intervention in the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Jen, you're buckled. Good job. You all are amazing. Bring in the feds. That's right. Now they have a reason to really point it out, right? Not just the other stuff. July 1st, 2025, Fort Worth, Texas. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. These are the exhibit. They're coming through with evidence as to why. So I didn't realize this was the long one. Okay, perfect. Yay. Okay, these are like how at night is, they say something, then they'll give you those exhibits. Well, this is what we're getting. We're getting the exhibits now. Buckle up. Someone's going to stand up for Sebastian loud and clear, and Seth. At Night Creative Intelligence, One World Society renew urgent call for federal intervention in the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. July 1st, 2025. Sebastian Rogers, 16, last visually seen leaving the Texas Roadhouse in Hendersonville, Tennessee on the evening of February 25th, 2024, has now been missing for 16 months. Despite unprecedented private sector efforts, crucial leads remain unexplored, essential questions unanswered, and pervasive misinformation continues to hinder the investigation. Given these critical investigative gaps, and ongoing misinformation threats, independent investigators and At Night Creative Intelligence now urgently call for immediate and comprehensive federal intervention. Amen. Oh, thank you, Town Chat. Okay. Amen. Sebastian vanished under suspicious circumstances after dining at the restaurant with his mother. At the time, he was 15 years old. I'm sorry, puppy. I just bumped my puppy in the head. Hold on. At the time, he was 15 years old, approximately 5'5" tall. By the way, please hit that thumbs up. You are reading this with someone who is firsthand involved in this. Oh, of course I can share my yes, I can. Hold on. Let me go to One World. I sure can. I don't know. I just had this. Let me make sure it's one. Oh, I always do this. There it is. Is this the one? I never know which one it is. Okay, hold on. I'll forward it to myself. Just a minute. I will forward it to myself. Okay, I'm sharing it. Okay. Let me go to my email for you. I'm going to go ahead and mute while I get it for you to my email. Okay. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, let me make it larger for you if I can. I know some of you like to screenshot them. Oop. Okay. Ready, set, go. So, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers statement by At Night Creative Intelligence and One World. Okay. It is going to the U.S. press, press at One World Media, global at worldnexus.co, and One World Media. At Night, this is a joint statement by At Night Creative Intelligence and One World Society, and they are asking for federal intervention into the Sebastian Rogers case. Addressed to national media, federal and local agencies, and the general public. Good. National media is going to get it. At Night Creative Intelligence and One World Society renew urgent call for federal intervention in the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Just so you know, the reward stands at $500,000 for credible information leading to Sebastian's safe return and arrest of those responsible. And boy, did I learned that is very true. They are ready. They're moving money immediately, moving it, getting ready to fund it to the FBI. This includes $50,000 from the FBI. Okay, July 1st, Fort Worth, Texas. Sebastian Rogers last visually seen leaving the Texas Roadhouse in Hendersonville, Tennessee on the evening of February 25th, 2024, has now been missing for 16 months, despite unprecedented private sector efforts. Crucial leads remain unexplored. Essential questions unanswered. And persuasive misinformation continues to hinder the investigation. I'm glad they said in there, crucial leads remain unexplored. Given these critical investigative gaps and ongoing misinformation threats, independent investigators and At Night Creative Intelligence now urgently call for immediate and comprehensive federal intervention. Sebastian vanished under suspicious circumstances after dining at the restaurant with his mother at the time. He was 15 years old, approximately 5 feet tall, weighed around 120 pounds, wore a black t-shirt with Yoda, blue jeans, and had square-framed glasses. Sebastian has high-functioning autism and a rare chromosomal syndrome. Love that they have the proper clothing in there. We know who doesn't. Despite exhaustive searches, no confirmed trace of Sebastian has surfaced since that night. Sorry, y'all. I just want to take a drink of my soda. I don't know why I'm so thirsty tonight. Okay. Unprecedented effort. Unanswered questions. At night, alongside private investigators, cyber specialists, body language and linguistic analysts, and various expert contractors have dedicated over 500,000 analyst hours to digital forensics, open source intelligence, and field investigations. Wow, 500,000 hours, y'all. In partnership with Dwayne Dog Chapman, they have contributed to a reward pool of $447,000, part of a broader total reward of $500,000. Key unanswered questions. Is Sebastian alive? Number 2, was his disappearance planned or spontaneous? Well, the footage that they were looking at the command center will tell them that, because commissioners were telling their local friends and neighbors that it wasn't random. If it's not random, you either know the people who did it, if it's not random. You recognize them. Did he leave the reported residence barefoot? Local authorities have never confirmed whether Sebastian's shoes were recovered, despite exhaustive ground searches spanning thousands of miles, leaving his current status unknown. So they want to know if he's alive. Was this planned or spontaneous? And I know the answer to that because that was said right from the command post. And did he leave the reported residence barefoot? And that's interesting because they have never confirmed whether Sebastian's shoes were recovered. Interesting, despite exhaustive ground searches spanning thousands of miles, leaving his current status unknown. No evidence of a runaway. Independent body language experts oh, wow, this is new to us. Independent body language experts who reviewed extensive footage found no indications that Sebastian intended to run away. Sebastian, who is autistic, reportedly left behind all his shoes and his phone. Surveillance footage captured at 3:10 a.m. on February 26, 2024, boom, reveals two unidentified individuals with flashlights behind the Rogers residence. Yay! I'm so glad they're bringing this all forward so he can't say it's a trash truck anymore. I'm sorry, I'm just so excited. I am so beyond excited. Are you all with me here? They are pointing out that on footage, surveillance footage, the flashlight individuals were captured. So we can't go on TV anymore and say it's a trash truck, that there were no flashlights. Where would we be without them? We wouldn't know anything about Texas Roadhouse. We wouldn't know half the stuff. We wouldn't have had surveillance images from the day before. Just so much, you all. What they handled last week, honest to goodness, one day I'll be able to tell the story and you just won't believe it. They are strong and forceful. They don't slouch in their chairs looking scared. I'm so glad they're saying that. Okay, sorry, you all. I didn't mean to scream. We've been waiting someone to call that out, right? Surveillance footage captured at 3:10 a.m. on February 26, 2024 reveals two unidentified individuals with flashlights behind the Rogers residence, strongly suggesting third-party involvement. Additionally, canine search teams lost Sebastian's scent abruptly at a roadside. Oh, interesting. A scenario more consistent with a forced vehicular transport rather than a voluntary disappearance. Woo! Move it up a little bit for us. Go at night in one world. Now, remember, we had an update that Dog is not making any public statements because when he does, things escalate against his life and more data breaches happen and things like that. But he is working. He's here. Okay. And I can attest to that. They got right back to me too, their tip line. Critical ransom tip ignored. On June 23rd, 2025, At Night's national tip line received a critical tip involving a $30,000 USDT cryptocurrency ransom demand. A linked digital wallet, that freaked me out too, yeah, and evidence suggesting Sebastian had been trafficked to Cancun, Mexico. Supporting documentation and screenshots indicated that payment would yield proof of life and access to a witness employed at a local hotel. Yes, that's right. That's right. The lady at the hotel, the receptionist. I'm so sorry, Detective Whispers, when I heard that. I'm so sorry. When I heard them say that, it's about time. They came out and said, don't you tell us it's a trash truck. We've all had it, right? So let's keep going. Supporting documentation and screenshots indicated that payment would yield proof of life and access to a witness employed at a local hotel. Yes. At Night immediately escalated this critical lead to the FBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and Sumner County Sheriff's Office. Follow-up communications on June 23rd and 24th and 25th included multiple emails and a call to local authorities. So now you're talking 3 days, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th, they're trying to get a hold of him. Even calling. The ransom demand explicitly outlined a criminal conspiracy, active threats, ransom demands, and cross-border TRAFing. Grounds warranting an immediate federal kidnapping investigation. Federal, my friends. But did that happen? Shockingly, no agency. Oh, go back. FBI, TBI, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and Sumner County, and multiple emails and phone calls. and shockingly, no agency acknowledged or acted upon this lead until a licensed investigator hired by Mr. Rogers, operating near the relevant region, intervened. Yes. I'm just in shock right now. So FBI, TBI, National Center for Missing Exploited Children, and Sumner County, none of them responded. Let's stop right there. What do you think about that? Okay, so FBI didn't respond. TBI, Sumner County, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Yes, I did. I'm learning about that now, Town Chat. Chownsat said, Jay, did you know that allegedly scammers can use various techniques to make it appear that cryptocurrency transactions are originating from another country, like Mexico? Yes. Oh, I'm elated too, Jen. They called him out. Well, yeah, I guess this will be his going away party, in my opinion. At Night documented the lack of response in a June 25th memo, warning authorities of the severity of disregarding this federally mandated trafficking tip. Only later that day did local authorities respond, briefly stating, consider your tip acknowledged. The tip is being investigated by the FBI. Since then, no further updates, no clarifications, or actions had been communicated to At Night or the tip source. True. The failure to properly investigate poses significant risks. If this tip was fraudulent, and At Night prematurely committed reward funds, the capacity to respond to genuine demands is compromised. Oh, got it. Because what he's saying is they wouldn't investigate, and here At Night's trying to, get ready to fund the money, and they can't get them to respond, right? And so what if it had been funded to a crook because they weren't investigating? Unbelievable. This unacceptable delay jeopardizes Sebastian's safety. Absolutely. And that goes along with the TBI agent who said to one of the people within the first few days, where he is, he ain't coming back from. What an attitude. That was a TBI agent that was at the search in the early days, said that to one of the locals, where he is, he ain't coming back from. Imagine that attitude. That started 16 months ago. This unacceptable delay jeopardizes Sebastian's safety. We publicly demand an explanation as to why a credible lead suggesting he may still be alive and in danger was not immediately prioritized. Good, they're demanding it. Each day without decisive action increases the risk of permanent loss. Federal authorities must urgently acknowledge, investigate, and transparently report on their handling of this ransom tip. The circumstances indicate kidnapping and international trafficking, crimes governed by 18 U.S.C. 1201, with potential application under the Victims Protection Act. Immediate FBI intervention is unequivocally necessary. Okay. Now, there's other things coming up forth now here too. Okay. They're showing other tips that had been overlooked. Oh, wow. A tip called the treehouse tip. Okay. You guys okay? Well, Edgar might have said we would never find Sebastian, but guess what? We will bring the creeps to justice, regardless of who they are. Okay. On April's forensic lead overlooked. On April 6, 2025, an anonymous tip labeled the Treehouse Tip was submitted to the Sebastian Rogers Reward tip line, consisting solely of a photo depicting a tent-like hideout with domestic items clearly visible, including a boxed water container and a blanket. Critically, the image prominently displayed an email address presenting an immediate forensic lead. Although no metadata such as timestamps, GPS coordinates, or device information were embedded in the photo, likely deliberately removed to anonymize its origin, the visual content itself provided actionable investigative forensic leads. So they received a tip called the Treehouse Tip, where it looked like someone could have been living with boxed water, domestic items, a hideout, a blanket, a tent-like hideout. And that was in April, like 5 weeks after Sebastian. Oh, in April of 2025. Oh, my. At Night Creative, I wonder if they mean 24. At Night Creative Intelligence immediately conducted a detailed forensic analysis, documented as Exhibit B, Treehouse Submission Image Analysis. Ooh. Image analysis. The Treehouse Tip Submission Image Analysis, recommending urgent law enforcement follow-up. This included tracing the email address, analyzing the tent, and surrounding items for potential matches to known locations or missing persons cases, and preserving the image as evidence. This detailed forensic report, categorizing the tip as potentially significant and deserving escalation, was formally submitted to law enforcement authorities, including the FBI's Rescue Me unit and the Sumner County Sheriff's Office in early April. Despite these clear, and look, they laid it out for him, they tried to match the items for him, and for locations and missing persons places. They tracing the email address for him. I mean, they did it all, or they gave him a good head start. Despite these clear recommendations, no documented action has been taken by the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. And remember, TBI, where he is, he's not coming back from. To date, there has been no feedback, acknowledgement, or indication of investigative follow-through regarding this lead. The lack of action on this credible forensic tip is alarming, demonstrating a concerning and acceptable pattern of overlooked investigative opportunities. Absolutely. So someone sends in a tip with a picture like that of a hideout in a tent with items, and they don't follow through? Wow. Shooketh. And I bet they are too tonight. And you know what? We talked about the sheriffs and the police, and we really appreciate those guys, right? When they do their job, because it's helpful. But that doesn't mean all of them do their job. And ones like this who don't make everyone else look bad. But when it's about a child, Caroline just said they were slow to follow up on the tip she gave. Hers was a sighting tip, by the way. Jennifer, they have people there, but you are so sweet. But I live in San Diego and will be more than happy to cross that border to search for Sebastian, no stone unturned. Aren't you amazing? See, Sebastian's army will do it, but someone else won't. The ones who are paid to do it. A campsite was seen and information was given to the police from what I remember, but they did not follow up on it, I guess. Yeah, at night does not play. I am telling you. And our friend who received the ransom and sent it to me, who received the ransom request stuff and sent it to me, will be with us tomorrow. So subscribe, notify, hit them all, like on your way in and out, because she will give you her experience. I'm giving you mine. Okay, let's keep reading. Misinformation crisis. Sebastian's case continues to be severely impacted by rampant online misinformation and inadequate communication from local authorities. Amen. Persistent false claims, such as an alleged confirmed February 26 sighting and unfounded hit and run theories, have proliferated online, diverting investigative resources and creating a dangerous environment. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office has contributed to confusion through reactive and inconsistent communications, allowing rumors to thrive unchecked and overshadow verified facts. The absence of clear and timely updates has exasperated speculation, significantly hindering the search. For example, a widely circulated false rumor that the TBI confirmed a sighting of Sebastian on February 26, 2024, was allowed to persist until at night pressed for clarification. Oh, because of the flyers being wrong. Yes. The misinformation environment has escalated into outright harassment and threats against individuals assisting the investigation. Volunteers, family members, and the at-night personnel have faced doxing, threats, and defamatory attacks online. In late 2024, these malicious attacks forced Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, and Dog the Bounty Hunter's team to issue cease and desist letters and even file legal actions against perpetrators orchestrating coordinated cyber harassment campaigns. Wowza. Wow. Direct threats have led key volunteer groups such as the United Cajun Navy to withdraw from search efforts after receiving in-person and online death threats. And what does Craddock say? Well, I guess they got to tell me about it. They haven't. Remember, he said that in an interview. I haven't heard anything. They didn't come to us. Wow. Why was it worth his career? Why was it worth his career? Ask yourself that. When he saw, he's a sheriff. He's smart enough to know when you see a ransom demand into another for a child they're claiming is in another country, like at night saying that's federal, that becomes federal, has to go right to the FBI. Why is losing his job, career, allegedly, which probably, in my opinion, will happen now. Why was that more important, taking that risk, than saying what you saw at 3:10 a.m., than explaining why you didn't put out a description of the kidnapper, and why you have a commissioner telling people it was random, not a stranger, who took Sebastian? Okay? How do you explain doing nothing when all of this is going on? I'm just absolutely shooketh. Direct threats have led key volunteer groups, and him saying, well, they haven't told me they've been threatened, to withdraw from search efforts after receiving in-person and online death threats. Several at-night contractors and volunteers have similarly exited the investigation for their safety. We unequivocally condemn these actions. No one dedicated to finding a missing child should ever face such obstruction or hostility. And in my opinion, no one should wear a badge who doesn't get up off their butt and look for them. Yeah, I'm mad. Local law enforcement bears significant responsibility for allowing this harmful climate to persist through inadequate and delayed communication. Timely, proactive public engagement is essential in dispelling harmful rumors. And by the way, required in the Amber Alert Field Guide. They're supposed to keep the child's face out in the public, even if there isn't investigative information, just to remind the public the child is still missing. They don't do that with Summer or Sebastian. Guiding community efforts and ensuring the safety of volunteers. Despite repeated offers from At Night in One World to support communication management, law enforcement responses have been limited or non-existent. We urgently call on the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and TBI to address this communication breakdown and restore effective, transparent public engagement. We want federal. Misinformation is not merely a public relations issue. It has significantly undermined search efforts, wasted precious resources, and endangered those dedicated to Sebastian's safe return. Amen to them. I told you they don't play, y'all. They are amazing. They are amazing. And this is what you need, is strong leadership. You need someone who sits up tall and looks strong and looks confident and looks capable. You don't need a sloucher in a chair who looks afraid and won't talk to people and won't answer tips. I'm upset. Oh, I know they don't respond. I know. The only response I got once was, it wasn't even a response. Brandon Carter reached out to me and asked me for the audio that I had, that someone had cleaned up. He wanted to hear the cleaned up version. But if you're admitting there's an audio, you're admitting there's a car or a dash cam that provided that audio in the backyard. You're right. This has all cost a fortune, Jen. You're right. I understand why you say that, Lisa. You're beginning to think they don't care and are paid off. Feds or bounty needs to step in. Yeah. I mean, Detective Whisker says FBI, come on down to Tennessee. That is. Yeah. I mean, you got an FBI, you got a TBI agent saying where he is, he's not coming back from, according to local source. You've got Sumner County, one detective who can't even respond to a tip. You got a sheriff who's his supervisor, who didn't respond for him, with him. That didn't even put the sheriff into action. What does it take? What do they know? I have to say, what do they know that if it's a tip where Sebastian's alive, they don't get up out of their desk? I'm worried. Oh, sorry, guys. I have to let my dogs out and I'll be right back. Sorry, they have to go potty. I'll be right back. And now I'm just concerned, my friends. I'm concerned that we could have found Sebastian a long time ago, because they have the footage of the 3 a.m. car. They have the footage of the flashlights. They know where the flashlights got off near Chrissy's house. They also know they went over towards, well, I don't want to go into all the details, but okay, they know that we've got a TBI agent saying in the first few days to the neighbors and locals where he is, he's not coming back from. You have a county commissioner saying you don't have to be alarmed. It's not a stranger taking kids out of your neighborhood. It wasn't random. So they know something. So what do they know? They know who took him, because they never put out a suspect picture. So they know him or her or them. They know the car, in my opinion, because they never put out the car description. And you better believe if they don't know either of those and they didn't include that on the Amber Alert, heads will roll. That in myself is proof that they know it. Okay. Sometimes there isn't a suspect description on there, of course, because they don't know. But when you have camera footage and people have spoken of it and people have seen it and people have talked about it and commissioners in your county have said it wasn't a random person who took Sebastian. It wasn't random. That means they recognized the person. It wasn't some stranger they were dealing with, because that would have been random. Sebastian has a very small circle. Very small circle. Okay. So what I'm afraid of now is maybe Sebastian could have been brought home a long time ago, if someone hadn't have been saying flashlights were trash trucks and all the other malarkey. Green hoodie was cleared in an hour. How do you go 10 months of not getting the footage, not seeing a darn thing in that footage? Nothing. 10 months. Not a word about that footage to the public. We need help identifying the creepers hanging around Sebastian's car right before he went missing. Nada. Nothing. But yet, when At Night and Dog get it and show it to the public within 1 hour, you got Craddock writing a press release. He not in 1 hour, that guy, he identified him, he located him, and interviewed Green Hoodie and cleared her. 1 hour. Now, how did that happen? You want to know why I think it happened? Because I think they knew who it was all along. And I have a theory, but I'm not going to throw it out here because I don't want to accuse someone. But my theory would be a certain, I don't know how to put it, a certain neighbor whose name comes up a lot in this. There's someone, in my opinion, that looks like Green Hoodie from their family, and it is a male. That's all I'm saying. Yes, Sassy. You got it. That's my alleged opinion. Okay. So, but then again, Green Hoodie entered a female bathroom, right? So if Green Hoodie entered a female bathroom, then I go with the first one we all went with, Rosenbaum. That's where I go. I don't go to the dead relative. I think that's exactly where CP wanted us to go. So there was no one to talk to. I really do. I think that was fed to us like it should, like someone wanted that fed, so there was no one to talk to. Because how in the world could Green Hoodie have been interviewed? They couldn't have been, right? Because they were deceased. Unless someone knocked off Green Hoodie in the midst of all this too. I mean, that would be weird. I do, MCE, possibly, yes. We all have a different theory. Some think it's, are you talking Melissa P. Shirley or the other sissy? A lot of people think it looks like a Rosenbaum. Yes. How about what did you say? How about we talk about this neighbor? Which neighbor, dear? Which neighbor? Yeah, Shelley, you said it from the beginning, and Miss Shelley, you were absolutely correct. She said, in my opinion. I have said from the beginning, something much bigger is involved, in my opinion, and follow the money. And you know what? This ransom could have been. And I'm just throwing it out there. At Night's never said this. They've never told me what it ended up being. You know, but I would never want to be the person they're going after. Just let me tell you that. I thought, allegedly, it was someone who was involved, who was trying to flee with that first 30,000. That's what I was thinking. And you know what I'm saying, right? So getting the first 30,000 and then taking off out of the country and trying to get the rest of the reward money and being gone. Right? Okay. Someone's nicely says, red-headed man in flashlight video. I found a female hand with nail polish. I'm still working on more details on screwing something. Thank you. We all work together. And that is something that has really been amazing. Is, you know, we're all starting, it seems like the hate's gone out of Sebastian's case, and we're all starting to kind of share and put things together a little bit, right? You know, and sharing and working on things, and it's really nice without all the hate. It really, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have jinxed us. I'm tapping. Yeah. What Lisa's opinion? Actually, I believe it was suspicious if I'm not. Yeah. Right. Lisa says Green Hoodie was definitely Rosen, in my opinion. Wanted to see her grandson one last time. Ooh. Pre-planned, in my opinion. Oh, I hadn't thought of that reasoning. But, interesting. Love the new puppy, Lisa. Yes, the one that cried and said, "This is bad, so it's bad, so bad," leaving that first vigil. Yep, this is another question a lot of people have had. Why did the first sheriff all of a sudden pass away, and then Craddock came in, and then Carter became lead detective? Really weird things happening in this case in this county. And I have a feeling Wheezy Girl said, "I've always said the dirty foots will pull something like this." It could we don't know who pulled it, but I'm just thinking someone maybe was seeing things coming out about Texas Roadhouse, people talking about it. Maybe other things were hitting home closely and they wanted to get money. I don't know. But needless to say, that person, I wouldn't want to be the person who did that. Right? Thank you, YouTuber. Thank you. Yeah, it's so bad. So bad. Yes. With tears in his eyes. A grown man who, and men cry, but he's a police officer. Right? He's a police officer, so he's seen a lot. And he was in the car driving around that morning. He was at the command center where they were watching that footage. And he says, it's bad. It's so bad. So they know things. He knows things because that's why he said that. Right? You knocked 3 times, 3. Nice. Good job, Caroline. I am too. I am too now. You know how, like, when things start to happen, just like with Caitlin Harp, now that she's found deceased, the family of his first wife, who was found deceased 2 years ago at the same age, they want that investigated further because they said it was not investigated thoroughly. You start hearing things like that. You know, when things happen, they make you think. And as things are happening, I think more and more of us are thinking that way. It's just weird with the way they act and stuff and behave, and they don't care what the public, it's just weird. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, great theory. Here's an opinion, a thought. KP's mom wanted her grandson, whom she can never have because she's a level 3 tier. She's a tier 3 RSO. And CP's mom wanted her granddaughter. It's a thought. It is a thought, isn't it? Dirty socks and dirty feet. That's another thought, right? Okay, so they are asking for a plea for federal intervention, and I thank you all for being here. I really do. Thank you so much for being here. Does this person work for Davison, South Carolina? What person? I don't know who you're talking about, but I'm happy to answer. Yes, and dirty bombs. Yes. Just a question. We are happy to answer. Alice Wood, could there be something bad going on in the family background that Sebastian threatened to expose and they did something? I agree. Follow the money and look at the police too. Anything is possible. And yes, in my opinion, that is possible. Because like we talked about in the beginning of this, Sebastian has been exposed to, his mother was exposed to an environment that was terrible. Yes, I know. Okay. You are right, Women's Warrior, and I'll address it. CP's mom is convicted of child trafficking as part of the offenses. Okay. And I can pull up the offenses too. I'll pull those up as soon as we're done here, okay? I'll pull those up. A well-oiled machine. How many times, Jen in Georgia, have we said that in 16 months? A well-oiled machine, this case. Yep. Okay. Thank you, you all, for handling the chat. I see you. Yeah. I mean, it's really sad. I pray we get him home to Seth soon. Thank you so much, Tracy. I appreciate it. Everyone, I appreciate you all. All the new members we got today. Yay, hey, hey. Exciting. Exciting. We've got our reunion Saturday. Let's keep reading, though. A plea for federal intervention. Due to substantial local inaction, amen, and the urgent circumstances surrounding Sebastian's disappearance, a vulnerable minor suspected to have been trafficked internationally at Night in One World Society will formally request FBI oversight in a forthcoming letter addressed to FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Don Bongino. Deputy Director Bongino, appointed in March 2025, currently oversees national FBI operations. Yes, go, guys, go. Under the FBI, or under the Federal Kidnapping Act. I'm so glad they're sending it to Kash Patel. He took an interest in Emily Pike's family story. Under the Federal Kidnapping Act, 18 U.S.C. 1201, the FBI possesses jurisdiction over kidnappings involving potential international crossings, as indicated by ransom claims pointing to Cancun, Mexico. Yeah, I'll never forget reading Cancun, Mexico. My stomach sunk. Additionally, the Trafficking Victims Protection Act may apply if evidence of human trafficking is confirmed. The FBI's established role in Amber Alert cases further underscores their authority and responsibility to intervene decisively in cases like Sebastian's. We urgently request the FBI to assume primary oversight of the Sebastian-Rogers investigation, or at minimum, initiate a parallel federal inquiry and secure copies of all intelligence and tips from local and state authorities for thorough bureau review. I want to pause there for a second. I wonder if they come in, if they're going to find the glasses that were found, the pants that were found, the skull that Silvers turned in, the phone that Silvers turned in that said Terry. All of that needs to be in evidence, right? I wonder if all of that's going to be in evidence. Because it's going to have to be. Oh, I have a feeling. And the blanket, that's right. They have to keep it. It's part of an, as Mr. Sheriff Sumner loves to tell us, this is an ongoing investigation. So they don't get rid of anything. Nothing. Lisa B always says CP, KP, TB, CB. In my opinion, do you have your affairs in order? Clink, clink. Hey, you know, that's another thing, the great question you all said that came up is, you know, at Night and Dog, they're Sebastian's team for Seth. Seth is their, you know, boss. He runs the show. And KP and Chris, CP, have said, don't ever contact us. You contact the police, right? When they offered to work with all of them. So the responsibility to contact KP, I mean, CP doesn't need to be, in my opinion, both the biological parents are what's important, okay? Not the step parent. He doesn't need to be contacted. But their responsibility to contact the biological mother of what was going on, it was their responsibility. Yes. Yes, Florida did. 60 kids. Called in the marshals. Someone just said Silver should have kept a piece of that bone. I know before he turned it in, he videotaped everything. I do know that because he's a smart man. Okay. And I know he did because he told me. So. About what, Cece? About what? Well, how Nick finally decided to answer me yesterday, waiting for the FBI to come see me. Ooh. Oh, about a question you had in January. You're waiting for the FBI to come see you. Good. Is that good news? Just kidding. Mm-mm-mm. I'm going to keep reading. I'm just saying, if KP comes out and says, why didn't I know? She can address that to Sheriff Eric Craddock and Brandon Carter. Okay. So Shirley H says, when stuff was being found, CP was the one who was quick to answer and say it was not Sebastian's. Yes, but it still needs to be kept as evidence. Oh, an audit of that share. And that's another thing. Remember when At Night did their big audit? Every employee, every email, everything. That's good business. That means they keep people accountable, processes accountable, the chain of command accountable, security accountable. And I think that would have been a good example for Sumner County to realize that they should be doing that. Well, they will be now, in my opinion. They'll have a whole on, into my opinion, of big internal affairs, because we're not going to stop. We're going to let everyone in this nation know that he ignored a ransom request for Sebastian Rogers for 3 days, 2 to 3 days. Still hasn't responded, by the way. Craddock hasn't done a word. So, Cece, I'd love to hear about it. I mean, you please email me if you can. Very cool. Very cool. You all are amazing with the things you're noticing. Keep it up. One day we're going to have the right piece. And if we can get some action from law enforcement, I think we will have resolution soon. Okay. So I'm sorry I stopped, but that really got to me about, the Bureau review. So they are requesting the FBI to assume primary oversight of Sebastian's investigation, or at the minimum, initiate a parallel federal inquiry and secure copies of all intelligence. That'll be interesting. And tips from local and state authorities. That'll be interesting too. For thorough Bureau review. We also urge the FBI to similarly review the case of Summer Wells, yay, who disappeared at age 5 in Tennessee under comparably suspicious circumstances. Local and state authorities previously used misinformation on social media platforms as justification for their prolonged inaction, an unacceptable precedent we must insist not be repeated. Wow, good for them. Protecting minors in immediate danger. Oh, this goes on, doesn't it? Okay. Protecting minors. Sorry, guys. Protecting minors in immediate danger is a public duty we implore the FBI to fulfill without further delay. We will request Director Patel to prioritize this case and deploy all necessary federal resources wherever the investigation leads, Tennessee, Mexico, or beyond. Woo! Our detailed letter to FBI leadership, copied to the U.S. Department of Justice and relevant congressional oversight committees, will outline the timeline of neglected leads and investigative missteps, emphasizing the urgency of immediate federal action. This includes highlighting critical evidence such as the unaddressed June 23rd ransom tip. We're at July 1st, still unaddressed by Craddock. And only one little statement from Carter, nothing from TBI to them, apparently. Additionally, this includes highlighting critical evidence such as the unaddressed June 23rd ransom tip and overlooked forensic leads. Additionally, we are engaging with Tennessee's Office of the U.S. Attorney, yay, and the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division's Human Trafficking Prosecution Unit due to the interstate and international implications of this case. So I do want to come back to you all right now, because I do know that 95% of my community, when I took a poll last month, felt like Sebastian was no longer with us. And some got upset when I put out that update that they were manning the Mexican borders, but I knew why. Okay, I knew why they were manning it because of the tip. So we just have to remember, to be positive, right? Mama's World said they must be scared of losing their homes. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too, MC. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hold on, I'm trying to look back at one comment real quick. I'm trying to read what's. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. Good for you. You all are good advocates. So let's have faith, because this tip right here was from someone who said, and I'll just tell you that they had him in, Mexico, obviously, and he would. So we don't know. We don't know. There is not one piece of evidence that points to DEATH. But to me, there is a huge piece of evidence that points to trafficking. And that is the TBI agent saying where he is, he's not coming back from. That to me is trafficking. I know to many of you it's death, but not, that to me is TRAFFing. I need to stop saying that word, traf. Okay. Yeah, think of all the vacations some people have gone on in the last 16 months while other people searched. Well, Seth with his, and I'm not saying anything wrong about Seth, but Seth with his meager income, losing work to search every day. Right? Right. Is Clutch in here? Hi, Clutch. How you doing? I don't even see him in here. I didn't realize he was in here. Hello, hello. Okay. Okay. So, hi, Clutch. I don't see you in here, but welcome in. So anyway, not just their homes, their lifestyles. Let's keep reading this. And like I said, tomorrow night, the lady who actually received the tip is going to be with us. The lady who received the ransom demand is going to be with us, who sent it to me to submit it as a tip. So don't miss tomorrow. Do not miss tomorrow. Cece says, I still love Nick and wish he was 30 years younger. Oh, wish you were. She says, I still love Nick and I wish he was 30. I wish I was 30 years younger. Cute. Oh, he's not in here. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Prayers for Sebastian and Seth. Thank you. I am coordinating with her, MCE, whenever she can come. I will put her up, okay? And I'll let you know in the morning. Nick Dog Hong. I'll follow up with her after this. Yes, they are rock stars, I am telling you. What we went through, they are, talk about a well-oiled machine. They move. They don't mess around. They don't mess around. So let's keep going here. This is a long one. I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was going to be so long. But this is all great news. A fresh, empowered federal investigation, free from local political constraints and interagency conflicts, is essential. So they're calling them out right there for conflicts and constraints. Sebastian's safety must be the priority, overriding jurisdictional pride or embarrassment. Now, that's being said, in my opinion, because I've been telling you all that for a while, that it could be ego keeping them from asking for the big guys. But when you don't even want to answer a tip, go ahead and call the big guys. You're not doing your job. But second of all, embarrassment. I've been telling you all, after they've let a flyer go for all that time with an error, imagine having to show the FBI their documents. I can only imagine. And the FBI knows glasses were found, pants were found, blankets, a skull turned in. All of that needs to be in evidence. The video, the footage that they were watching at the command center, that they were commenting on, that needs to be there. All of it. Sebastian's more important than jurisdictional pride or embarrassment. While we acknowledge the FBI's prior involvement, including their announced $50,000 reward last year, the severity of this situation now demands their direct leadership and immediate intervention. Amen. Hallelujah. Peter Kurkulis, at Night's National Tip Line Coordinator for the Rogers case, emphasized, time is critical. Every ignored tip and every hour lost increases the perils Sebastian faces. Oh, gosh. We cannot tolerate further inaction or bureaucratic delays. We urgently call on the highest levels of law enforcement to intervene decisively, cut through procedural obstacles, and bring Sebastian home safely. He further noted the diminishing patience of Sebastian's loved ones. We have diligently tried to work within the system. Now we are publicly putting that system on notice. Amen. That's probably a quote from Seth. At Night and One World Society are prepared to pursue legal actions for gross negligence if credible leads continue to be ignored. Our unwavering goal remains Sebastian's safe return. Authorities must prioritize transparent communication and protect those supporting this critical search effort. Seriously, they didn't even send cars in when neighbors were scared, asking for help when the one neighbor was going bananas. And then people were banging on doors for footage. They didn't even send cars down. Okay. So they're going to pursue legal actions if something isn't done. So let me ask you a question. Do you think Sumner County will do something about their sheriff and their lead detective? Or do you think they'll just let the federal people come in and take it over and pretend like they weren't Boy Scouts trying to go to war? Because that's what it's been. And I've said that for how long, Sassy? 16 months, right? I've been saying to all of you, it's embarrassing in my opinion. It's like Boy Scouts preparing for war. They're not soldiers, in my opinion. Call to action, help bring Sebastian home. We urge vigilance and immediate reporting of credible information. Amen. Silence risks Sebastian's life. Your anonymous tip could be pivotal. At Night Creative Intelligence and One World Society are committed to using all necessary legal actions to ensure Sebastian's case receives proper attention. We formally notify all responsible agencies that any further negligence or mishandling of credible evidence resulting in harm to Sebastian, mishandling of credible evidence resulting in harm to Sebastian will lead to legal action for gross negligence and other relevant civil claims. Our primary goal remains Sebastian's safe return, but accountability for mishandled tips and overlooked evidence is essential to restore public trust. Amen. No one even wants to call them, but has to, because they don't care, in my opinion. We call upon anyone with information regarding Sebastian's disappearance, no matter how minor, report it immediately. Sumner County Sheriff's Office, I wish they had also implored them to put instructions on their tip line, like push 6 for Sebastian, because there's none. I wish I had mentioned that. Sumner County Sheriff's Office, 615-451-3838, TBI, 1-800-TBI-FIND. Alternatively, and after notifying proper authorities, you may contact Dog the Bounty Hunter and At Night's tip line, anonymous, tips@manhunts.one. Media organizations are encouraged to continue rigorous scrutiny of this investigation. Transparency and accountability are vital. Setting the record straight, fact versus misinformation. Sorry, guys. Okay. Fact. All immediate family members, Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, cooperated with law enforcement, including taking polygraph tests. Interesting. Okay. Misinformation. Rumors alleging a parent refused or failed polygraphs are false. Polygraph tests have not implicated family involvement. Fact. Sebastian was last seen on February 20. That's interesting. They've all passed. Shocking on this. I'm going to keep my opinions to myself. Good, though. I'm glad. Misinformation. Rumors alleging a parent refused or failed polygraphs are false. and polygraph tests have not implicated family involvement. Fact, Sebastian was last seen on February 25th, 2024 at Texas Roadhouse. No credible sightings have occurred afterwards. Misinformation. Claims of a TBI confirmed sighting on February 26th are false. Wow. That's because they never changed the timeline. So people were thinking that TBI had a confirmed sighting on the 26th because that's what it says. Authorities confirmed no sightings post February 25th was reported missing. No sightings post February 25th. He was reported missing on the 26th. Fact. Surveillance footage from a neighbor shows two unidentified individuals with flashlights behind the Rogers home at approximately 3:10 a.m. on February 26th. Misinformation. Suggestions that Sebastian wandered off alone with evidence indicating an abrupt loss of scent beyond his yard. Fact. Sebastian's phone was left behind. Investigators found no evidence of planned departure. Misinformation. The theory of an impulsive escape lacks support, especially given Sebastian's routine-oriented nature. Fact. Multiple agencies, Sumner County Sheriff's Office, TBI, FBI, are actively involved, supporting a reward fund totaling approximately $500,000 from public and private contributions. Misinformation. Claims suggesting the family rejected external help or that authorities do not intend to find Sebastian are categorically false. Our concerns center on responsiveness, not intent. Let's read that again. Claims suggesting the family rejected external help or that authorities do not intend to find Sebastian are categorically false. Our concerns center on responsiveness, not intent. So what they're saying there is, don't take everything that they haven't done, everything they haven't answered, everything they haven't addressed, and turn it into, what did they say? Excuse me. That it was intentional. He's saying they're talking about they need responsiveness, not intent, is what they don't want to worry about right now. They want them responding. They'll get any intent and all that will come down later. Sebastian is a beloved son, grandson, and friend who has autism and may be unable to seek help independently. He wants to come home. At Night Creative Intelligence and One World Society remain resolute in our commitment to bringing Sebastian home and holding accountable anyone obstructing this mission. We will not cease our efforts until every avenue is thoroughly pursued and Sebastian is found safely. But if negligence persists, we will pursue legal accountability without hesitation. A young man's life and future are at stake. Let us all act accordingly, ensuring our collective efforts align with the urgency and moral imperative of this critical search. Amen. And there is our boy. There he is. So I know you all have a lot of thoughts after that. Let me go back and see what you all are saying, my friends. Only Blanche, the retired tip line lady. Yeah. I think they're embarrassed too. They didn't do what they should have done, and maybe it was relationships. But right now, like At Night says, let's focus on getting them to do what they're supposed to do, getting people to start moving and getting federal people in here. I've been afraid critical evidence might come up missing. I know. Allegedly, a lot of people have worried about that. Light video, they took entire system. Well, remember, it was leaked to certain people have it and stuff. It goes back to what? Okay. Anyway. It's easy. Okay, let's just keep going. I'm looking at your comments. Not while mommy's here. Oh, Shirley says Shirley says Ted Bundy passed a polygraph test. Exactly. He said it, and Jen says that Karen Powers right. He said it for the world to hear. Go hit the like, you all, please. Get this live out in the algorithm. It's a way to thank Teach for her time and hard work as well. And it's also a way to get the ransom out there, all of this that's been going on for a week that no one knew about except all of us, and that we couldn't get a response. That's important. Right. I'm mad too, Gypsy. All of us are upset. And I knew you guys would be. But let's try and stay positive on the one thing. At Night has called it out. One World has called it out. They want federal intervention, and I cannot imagine that anyone would allow the sheriff not to call it in at this point. Once they see that lead unopened or not responded to. And Teresa says, I pray for Seth. Lord, give him strength and comfort his heart. We pray you bring his son Sebastian home. Amen, we do. Sebastian is worth 1,000 times more than Ellie being embarrassed. Exactly. Yep. Someone says, I'm not, in my opinion, not embarrassed. Minnie Panther says they helped cover up, in my opinion. Tea rafting. Got it. Tea rack. Oh, gotcha. Yes. Yes. Gotcha, Lisa. Nora, I don't know where that is. Someone says, do they think this administration is going to care about any children missing? I hope I'm proven wrong. CP and KP came out smelling like a rose versus a pile of SHIT. I think they are, in my opinion. Right. So oh, thank you, Nicey. Cute bark. She said, Independence Day for Sebastian Rogers. That's a good point. Good way to look at it. And Barb says, Jay, thank you. You are amazing. Appreciate you very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all too. LE and TBI has produced nothing for finding Sebastian, so how come someone can go above them? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to read your messages. Crime time. What did KP say? Okay, crime time. Did KP say what day that photo was taken of him holding those shoes? They look like high or mid tops, not bowling shoes. Send it to me, please, and I'll look at it, Town Chat. Send it to me and I'll look at it, please. Hi, Alicia. Welcome in. Yes, crazy. Ransom demands. Law enforcement not responding at night. My gosh, they're amazing, efficient, fast. They were flying on planes. I mean, they were getting ready. They had everything ready to fund the $500,000. I mean, they were amazing. Went to 2 different countries to look. I mean, that's amazing. And she said, because if she is trying to say it is the same day, then why isn't he wearing his Yoda shirt like he has on at Texas Roadhouse? Yes, well, remember, my dear, she covered that base in the Dateline interview, or her most recent 12-month interview, where she added in somewhere where they went home after Strike and Spare before Texas Roadhouse. They all met at the house, or they went home first. Remember, she said she and Sebastian left alone. Oh, did they go straight to Texas Roadhouse? From Strike and Spare. I can't even keep up with her anymore. Lots of different stories, excuse me. Yeah, seriously, Shirley, we can go breaking cases, right? Bring Sebastian home too. Yes. Town Chat, will you send it to me, please, my friend? Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that's what you were talking about. I apologize. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying, are those the shoes he was wearing that day? Or are those the bowling shoes? I see what you're saying. Let me go back in where I can enlarge it for us, okay? I see what you're saying. Nope, those are his tennis shoes. So that's even interesting, isn't it? Good catch. Those are his tennis shoes. And you're sure that's a bowling alley picture? Yep, those are his tennis shoes. So he didn't have on the same tennis shoes he had on at Texas Roadhouse if this is from that day. Town Chat, are you trying to tell me that's from that day? So if that is indeed from that day, then he was not wearing the black tennis shoes with the white soles that he had on at Texas Roadhouse. He was wearing these. But I need confirmation that is the exact same day. Seth, if you're here, Seth in the chat. Hi, Navy Mom. Hi, Babs. Hi, SI Officer. Hi, everyone. Well, my friends, it's been a journey tonight. Ransom demands. They're asking for federal intervention. They have called out the lack of investigative techniques, the silence, forensic evidence being overlooked, possibly, an email not being followed through. Okay, Town Chat, what are you saying, my friend? Hold on, you guys. I'm waiting for Town Chat's going to type me a message. Go ahead, Town Chat. Type it right now, and I'll look at it. What are you saying? Bye, Sassy. Thank you for everything you did. Okay, Teresa, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Yes, if they were the boots Seth bought were by the front door. You can't, you don't bowl in tennis shoes. They got it. You're right. You are so right, Detective Whiskers. You put on the shoes. I'm waiting patiently, Town Chat. Okay. Jay, what I'm saying is that allegedly I thought KP said he was holding bowling shoes, but those are not bowling shoes. That was taken at a retail store. So KP, in my opinion, lied. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't remember her saying those were bowling shoes. Forgive me, Town Chat. I apologize. If she said that, absolutely, then that's not true. If you want to send us where she said that, that would be great, so we can get that out there too, right? If you can find out where she said that, that would be important for us to know that too and get that out there. Because why would you fib about that? Like the meal he had at Texas Roadhouse. He had his favorite meal, asparagus and salmon. Did he? No. I took the pictures because he was eating all his salad. Well, first of all, or because he ate all his salad and he never does that. Well, there wasn't salad in front of him. And when you were taking the pictures, it wasn't all eaten. Right? Yes, that's right. He didn't go bowling on the 25th. That's right. The leagues were there. The lanes were crowded. So they went and played the arcade games. That's right. So if she said those were bowling shoes he's holding, I still want to hear about that one. Yeah. Well, let's think about it. Casey Anthony lied to police and said she worked somewhere she didn't. Remember, kept putting him on goose chases and the Zanny the nanny. And they arrested her and put her in jail for misinformation, misleading police during an investigation. And she never got out again till after she was acquitted. Because then they started putting as they found things, they started putting other charges on her, including M. When, yeah, there was no salad and it wasn't all eaten. None of it makes sense. And then putting out that first picture. Remember the first picture of the Texas Roadhouse? We were meant to believe that that was their dinner, sitting side by side, remember? But when the footage came out from Texas Roadhouse, someone clarified that I never meant to say that was the first that day, but I recall being told it was that day. He had his old shoes on at Texas Roadhouse, Neurovi, the black ones with the white soles. Yes, they match KP's, and they also match the man standing by the pole near the black pickup truck. So, not true. We need to learn about spousal privilege. Spousal privilege is put into place for married couples so they do not have to testify, throw each other under the bus, give incriminating information about each other. Unfortunately, it doesn't apply when it's children's involvement. Let me read it to you. It doesn't apply when children are involved. I'm reading it, Town Chat. I thought that the canine lady said that KP showed her photo of the salad on her phone and confirmed it was a salad, so check with her. She can tell you for sure. Okay, sounds good. Sounds great, and I will do so. But it is, did you just say KP was showing the phones from the Texas Roadhouse to someone? Wait a minute. As far as we know, no one has showed those photos, but I will reach out to are you talking about Canine Jules? Canine Captain Jules? Or are you talking about like someone else? Yes, let me look that up for you guys. Sorry. We're going to read spousal privilege real quick. Spousal testimonial privilege. Oh, wait. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to ask her about that. Thank you. I don't know, Michelle. I don't know what Cash Patel was doing in Tennessee when he was shown on YouTube months ago. I don't know. Yeah, Cajun Navy. I think it was them, a female. She said image, and it was a salad. Interesting. I will. I'll start there. Thank you so much. You all are so helpful. Okay. Let's read here. Sorry, I'm trying to find the extent. Okay. Spousal privilege, which protects confidential communications between spouses, does not apply in several situations. It generally doesn't apply if the marriage is not valid, obviously, because of bigamy, incest, or fraud. After the couple divorces, or if the communication was not intended to be confidential. Additionally, it does not apply in cases where one spouse is accused of a crime against the other or their children, or if the communication was made to commit a crime or fraud. So if you have, right here it says, if one spouse is accused of a crime against the other spouse or their children, the privilege does not apply, and the victim spouse can be compelled to testify. In some jurisdictions, a defendant's spouse can testify about confidential communications in their own defense in a criminal trial. Interesting. So if it's crimes against children, it does not apply. I'm doing my best. I'm trying getting here, Shirley. I'm sorry. My eyes are watering a little bit. Crime Time Buzz, why did KP only give them a younger picture of Sebastian and not the one she took at Texas Roadhouse? I don't know. Why did Candace Bly, Summer's mom, who videoed her and took a picture driving her home, not give hours later the picture she just took? It makes no sense. Oh, EquiSearch. Okay. Are you talking about Twyla? Oh, Shelly. Okay. Gotcha. Makes no sense. These mothers are taking pictures just hours before the parents. EquiSearch saw I was going to say, was it EquiSearch? Thank you, K-Mac. They're taking photos of their children hours before the children are reported missing, but not giving those photos as the most recent. It just doesn't make sense. You're probably talking about Twyla. Okay, Shirley, I will read your comment. Oh, I think I did. Oh, no, I didn't. Why did KP, only give them a younger picture of Sebastian. Well, we don't know the answer to that. And not, I would say, I don't know. It's suspicious in my mind. I can't give an answer as to snapping a picture of your child and a couple hours later they go missing and not giving that picture to law enforcement. And she was sneakily taking those pictures. Exactly. But was the time checked on that salad picture? Yes, because you can adjust timings on photos. Take a photo right now, slide up and adjust the time and date where it was taken, and location for that matter. So you can adjust photos. And remember, some people are real good at things like that. And Barb says, I hear the SBI can get around spousal privilege. If I suppose if you don't cooperate, they can prosecute as an accessory. Good comment. Thank you, Barb. That's a great comment. Donna B says, the first picture I would have grabbed would have been his class picture for the year at the Texas Road, or the Texas Roadhouse picture, not ones from years ago. Right. Right. Okay. In my opinion, CP would lie under oath. He did in the BHB case, in my opinion. Yes. They have studied that video inside and out. Inside and out. I'm sure they zoomed on the phone, but I can sure ask. I'll ask right now. One moment. One moment, my friends. Okay. I just sent the message asking them if they zoomed in on the phone, and I know they did. But I want to get proper clarification for you, because what if someone had said to us, did Sumner County zoom in on that phone? What would you say now? I wouldn't have confidence now. I hate that. The best case scenario is they come out and start doing things and helping instead of losing, positions and stuff. I hope they come out and join the game. It was salmon, according to CP, who wasn't there. Yeah. He's just a wealth of information. Thank you, Karen and Jenny. Jenny says, and that is why she kept pictures of Sebastian eating to herself for memories. Still makes no sense to me. At Detective Whiskers. Thank you, Jenny Machete, for that comment. Many think that Sunday was a going away party. Many think that some of you, I know it's cold to say, but some of you called it the Last Supper, the going away party. That's why family gathered. What we really need to find out is someone who knows the family. And I just think they were family who stuck together, right? Because I would love to know how many other weekends prior to Sebastian going missing did they have a Sunday fun day? I think that's critical. Why, right? Did they have Sunday fun days often, or was this unusual? Yeah. Yeah, that whole salad, the whole meal thing. I mean, honest to goodness, y'all, we're 16 months down the line and we don't even know what he was eating. That's how bad the fibs have been. You're tired, you need a nap, Town Chat? I think we all do. We're getting off of here right now. You've done a wonderful job, mods. I think all of you. Bab says they offer one main pasta dish, Sierra chicken pasta. It's fresh cooked penny pasta. Well, that kind of looks what he had, tossed in white Asiago cheese sauce. Yeah, Minnie says, just let's all admit it. CP's a know-it-all. He knows it all. He knows it all. He's got it all down pat from Memphis. And someone said, Cece, it looks like he's eating penny pasta to me very quickly. So we all have different things. What do you think he's eating, Cece? We can all have different opinions. Yeah, I know. She wanted to show him he was eating. I mean, come on, give him a break from the person who doesn't like him, in my opinion. Well, great evening. Got to bring you forth a lot of information. I'm sure your heads are spinning like ours are, but the good news that's coming out of it is that At Night is calling for federal intervention because federal trafficking has been brought up. They think he has like one of their big theories is he has been TRAFF'd. And again, don't forget that TBI statement where he's not coming back from. And that to me sounds layers of TRAFFICKING. But it could mean something else. I could be completely wrong. Okay. And Woman's Warrior, hi, my friend. I'm sorry if I've been missing your comments. Using the wrong image is the only reason I think he is still alive. When trafficking, they use photos that don't resemble true likeness. Okay. I'm reading that. Maybe I'm just tired now. I'm sorry, you guys. That's what I was going to bring up too, Gypsy. I'm so glad you said that. Using the wrong message is the only reason I think he is still alive. When trafficked, they use photos that don't resemble true likeness. Interesting. Interesting. So you think they're using the wrong image, and that's why we're not finding him, right, woman? Am I catching that right, Woman's Warrior? I want to make sure I'm hearing you right, so let me know if I didn't hear that right. Gypsy said, speaking of the BHB case, whatever happened about the judge or judge's family being threatened? I mentioned that a while ago, and we need to follow up on that because guess what? Sumner County, I think it's TBI, but they need to be investigating that. That's a judge. I have a feeling. I hope it's being investigated. Let's put it that way. Okay? Because a threat to a judge needs to be investigated, especially during a case where what was going on has been going on with threats all over anyone searching. And the people were in the courthouse that arriving that day, everyone involved. So I definitely, they need to, it's like federal. No, he's not a federal judge though. Yeah, they have to though. I did look it up at one point and I think it was TBI. Let me look it up for you. Who is responsible in Tennessee to Okay. In Tennessee, threats against judges are handled through a multi-layered approach involving judicial oversight and law enforcement. So law enforcement would have brought that forth, while the Tennessee Board of Judicial Conduct primarily focuses on investigating complaints about the judges. Okay. The law enforcement, multi-layered approach involving judicial oversight in law enforcement. So law enforcement pursuing potential criminal charges related to a threat against a judge, it would be the responsibility of law enforcement agencies to investigate who made the threat, gather the evidence, and depending on whether or not the threat was truly directed towards a state or federal judge, then the investigation could involve state or federal law enforcement. So basically what that says is that we have law enforcement who needs to bring it forth with judicial, let me go back. Law enforcement, it's a multi-layered approach, and it's judicial, someone who oversees the judges, and law enforcement. And what they need to do is, it says that they can pursue criminal charges for a threat against a judge. And that is the responsibility of law enforcement agencies to investigate that threat. Well, it happened in the Sumner County courthouse, so I assume it's Sumner County, but I could be wrong. But so they should be investigating that threat that was made during that time when there had to be a judge recuse themselves and a new judge come in. Yes, absolutely. That should be having been already. That's been months. That should have already been an investigation started. The U.S. Marshal plays a role in judicial security and conducts risk and threat assessments, and would likely be involved in threats against federal judges. And this is a state judge. For threats against state judges, state law enforcement agencies such as TBI or local law enforcement would be involved. So it's up to TBI and local law enforcement. So after everything we've learned today, I don't even know what to say. Would you think that had been followed up on? I don't know. I don't know. I hope so. I hope so. For everyone's sake who's being harmed, threatened, I hope law enforcement would follow up. Yes. Yes, they do protect their Supreme Court judges. Well, everyone, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Sorry it was such a long evening, mods. You've done a wonderful job. Let's bring Sebastian home. Let's get the FBI involved. Let's get the U.S. Marshals involved. Let's get anyone involved who cares and wants to act expeditiously. Okay, not in the rearview mirror. Thank you so much for being here. Say a prayer for Seth, for Sebastian, for all the loved ones, a vibe, whatever you send, hearts, anything. Thank you, mods. Thank you, chat, for being so amazing today. And I just want to say we are going to bring him home. So keep keeping on. And until next time, talk soon.